Hello. Give me 1 second. That's better. Maybe that's better. Yo. What's up, guys? Good to see you. Good to see you. Stang, what's up, dude? What's up? What's up? Reluctant Hero. That's a solid build right there. Thanks, man. Nathan, how are you, man? Hopefully it's not too late for you. Dylan, Casey Walls, George, Rob. Blaze asked 1 question and then got out of here. What's up? What's up? What's up? How's everyone doing tonight? How's everyone's week? What exciting things happened? I'm so afraid of this music going to a new one that's copyright. That always happens when I'm not paying attention. Reluctant Hero says, "Evening, folks." It is only just after 10 a.m. on Tuesday here. Nice. Perfect. Are you a morning person, Nathan? So that's not too bad. Every week it feels like I have a new streaming setup because things get unplugged and they just, I don't know. You'd think I could just, boom, flip it on, hit a switch and go, but it's like every week everything is gone. Like all the settings were just gone. Casey Walls says, I found a very rare case in the USA. It was only $35. The Gamdius Aura GC1. It's so narrow and fits ATX perfect buy. Very nice. I've used Gamdius before. I don't think I've used that one, but nice. Yeah, Gamdius stuff is often very cheap. Okay, yeah, I have seen the Aura GC1. I don't think I've built in it, but they have some stuff that looks very similar to it. And yeah, it's a very narrow ATX case, so you've got to use a small GPU in it, but it's pretty cool. Nathan says, I'm a bit of both, but that's because I did shift work when I was still working in law enforcement. I prefer mornings, though. Nice. That's fair. I would say, as a rule, I'm not a morning person. Probably as like, that's like the definitive rule is that I'd say I'm not. But there have been times in my life where I'm better in the mornings than I am at night. That time is not now. It only fits 260 millimeter GPU though. Yeah, it's pretty small. But they have 57s that will fit. Very nice. If it's that narrow, does it limit tower coolers? That's a good question, Dylan. Casey says it does not. So it's just the narrow from left to right, not necessarily the height. Or what is it? The depth, I suppose? Yeah, not the depth. So cool. That's a nice, nice looking case. Did y'all see the tariff news? The tariffs in China are reduced. So it's not 3,000% anymore. I think it's what, 20%, 30 something, 10%. So still something, but it's a step in the right direction for PC builders. So some happy news there. Is that from the Nintendo Music app? No, it's just YouTube. Don't tell them. No PSU basement, but that didn't bother me. Yeah. The tariffs, it's a pause for so many days while a deal gets ironed out. Right. Yeah. It's always like that, isn't it, though? It's always, let's do something crazy and absurd, and then we'll pull back for 100 days to figure out the details. Why don't we just skip the absurd part, right? Let's just iron out the details for 100 days. I agree with that part. I think that's fine. We can just skip the first part and move on to the second part. Like, the stock has risen like crazy. Yeah, that makes sense. It's interesting how reactionary the stock market is. UK and US did get a deal done. I saw that, yeah. It's interesting. It's an interesting deal where some things have changed, but not really, and they agreed to buy some planes. It's interesting. I don't think any PC hardware comes out of UK, though, as far as I know. So for our industry, it doesn't matter that big a deal. But there is a lot of goods coming out of the UK for everyday stuff. So cool, great. Have you seen the 8700F? MSI is making a pre-built with it. Interesting. I have not seen that. Is that an OEM only CPU? AMD calls it the processor that is the starting point for a serious gaming PC. Interesting. Wow, 5 gigahertz boost clock. Interesting. If it's cheap, then I likey. Cool. That sounds cool. Newegg celebrated the tariff news by selling the Gigabyte Gaming OC 9070 XT for only $750 this morning. Of course, it quickly sold out. Wow. That's so cool of them. It's so nice of Newegg to do us a favor to sell us a card for, what, 150 over MSRP. It's strategy, but I thought tariffs were good. Weren't y'all saying that tariffs were good like a week ago? Saying that it's going to bring American jobs back? So which is it? Are they good, or was it all strategy? I was excited to have American jobs back. People were saying we were gonna build so many new things, and then, but now we're back to this. I thought they were good. I thought tariffs were good. I'm confused. There are a few game studios out of the UK, though. It's good for them. Yeah, for sure. A lot of good stuff out of the UK. I know, I think Team 17 is an English studio. So that's pretty cool. Hopefully, yeah, it can just get back to business. I haven't done much research on it, the 8700 app. It seems cool. It's just an 8700G without the iGPU. So the 8700F is pretty much a worse version of the 7700 since it has less cache. Okay, that's interesting. As long as it's cheaper, like significantly, I think they might try to pull the thing where they like charge the same amount for it, which would be pretty silly. But if it's cheaper, for sure, that'd be awesome. Every CPU has its place, right? Like as long as it's priced accordingly, I will never say something is a waste of sand. You know what I mean? Like, it has its place. So as long as it fits in well, price wise, and you know all that stuff. What's up, Peter? So what's the leader size on the D32? I'm actually not sure. You might have to look it up. So the D32 is interesting. I have it next to me. We're gonna start building soon because it is a mATX case, but it's very small, but still fits in ATX power supplies and what's it called? mATX motherboards and like really full size GPUs. It's amazing. So like the only downside, and I think you mentioned it earlier, Casey, compared to the Z something, is that there's no handle, and I really did want a handle on it, but it was like a $30 difference, and I'm like, I thought in my head, I'm like, do I want to pay $30 for a handle? No, like, but it looks cool. The Jonsbo D32, yes, indeed, indeed. The merits of tariffs are too nuanced a conversation to have in a streaming chat. I don't think so. I don't want to say tariffs are good or bad. It's just that last week people were saying they're good, and then now that they're gone, they're saying it was all a play. So you can't have both. You know what I mean? Either they were good and they were going to bring American jobs back, or they're bad and it was all just a play. You know what I mean? Like one or the other is okay. I'm cool with both. I just don't try to tell me they're good and then when they're gone say that's also good. You know what I mean? I want one or the other. I just want consistency. You know what I mean? Like I don't like this flip flopping that we keep doing. It's like 1 week something's good. No, that was bad. Well, it's good again. You know what I mean? Like let's pick one. It makes it really hard for the industry. Like if we're gonna do something, let's do it. You know what I mean? Let's go full force in it and let's just do it. This flip flopping is making it really hard on businesses and for people. Like I know many small business owners were freaking out. They don't have the capital to wait out tariffs. You know what I mean? And if the whole thing was a play, how many businesses went under for this? You know what I mean? Like small businesses. Obviously, bigger ones can hold out a little bit. So yeah, hopefully some good stuff comes out of it. The Jonsbo D32, yes, I think that is the one I'm using. Good trade deals are good. It's strategy, but I thought tariffs were good. Which is it? That's what I'm saying. Like last week, the tariffs were good. Now people are saying the strategy was good because y'all were saying, not you. I mean, like people online. Like if we want to do both, that's sure. But like I was excited to have American-made stuff made in America. I know it takes years, but we didn't get to that point because we flip flopped. It's like which is it? You can't have both. You know what I mean? I just hope yeah, Daniel's got it. We need a totally free market for Earth. Let's do no taxes either. I want no taxes, no tariffs. I want to buy whatever I want from anywhere in the world. In an ideal world, that would be fantastic. For the consumers, at least. Flo, what's up, man? Hey, I'm building a $300-ish PC. I found an RX 5700 XT for $120. Is it worth it right now? I think that's a good price. I think a 5700 XT for anything under like 140 is pretty good. And 120 is, yeah, very good. I'm not sure what country you're in, Flo, but I think in the US that's pretty good. Mr. C&D. Evening, Jason. Oh, hey, what's up? What's up? Good to see you, Mr. C&D. 25.7 liter, so it's not considered small form factor. Is there a cutoff point for that, like the SFF? You know what I mean? It's pretty small to me. Do you have any thoughts on in-ear monitors? Yes, sure. I am personally not a fan. I know a lot of people really like them. For me, I'm an over-ear guy. The only in-ear headphones I've used recently is stuff like the AirPods, specifically the Pros, AirPods Pro, and those felt comfortable, kind of. But like most of the time, I would just prefer over-the-ear ones. Like most of my headphones are going to be over ears, and there's few reasons why I would use in-ear, and it's mostly for practicality, right? So I'd say it's more of a comfort thing. I would say if you are super into them, if you're okay with like having stuff in your ears like that, go for it. Because for me, when I'm talking about headphones, comfort is number one. Because I'm not gonna wear headphones that's not comfortable. So it doesn't matter how good the sound quality is. If they aren't comfortable, it's not on my head. You know what I mean? So like I feel like that is like something that most people don't really think about, and it's hard because you can't, like, everything's ordered online, right? You can't test fit a headphone. You can return it, obviously. That's kind of a hassle though. So I wish we had a way to like test fit in ears and over the ears and silicone tips and phone tips. You know what I mean? Like, so you just kind of have to just go through the line and just find out what works best for you. But I think they could be cool. I know a lot of people like them. Considering the price increases they saw on AliExpress, 120 seems solid right now. Yeah, we are kind of in a time where it's like kind of just take what you can get. I'd say it's less than what most people were paying even in the last 6 months. So it's pretty good. Yeah. Silicone tips only for in-ear, but over-ear are the best. Gotcha. Volume of the case is 24.005 liter without the feet. Interesting. Y'all know a lot about that's one thing I don't really know about, is like the liters of machines, because to me that means nothing. I'm not filling it with water. You know what I mean? So unless you're in that world and you know, you can visualize what 20-liter looks like, what 24 liters looks like. To me, it's like, what form factor this can it fit? What form factor can it fit? You know what I mean? So I'm not in that world, but I know you guys are. So I'm sure you can visualize it. SSF sounds like a website I want to get banned for category. And then Daniel said, Dylan, you would know, which was a sick burn on Dylan. Hi, Jason. What's up, Luke? Given a choice, do you prefer mATX over ITX due to better cooling and larger case of mATX in general, and size difference doesn't warrant the cooling downside and higher fan speed of ITX? I prefer mATX because to me the size difference, because let's be honest, we're gonna use a big GPU. That's just we're gonna use a big GPU, and so the difference in size between an mATX and an ITX can be drastic, but most of the time it's not. It's just like a little bit smaller, and it's going to take up the same size on my desk. So in terms of cooling, I don't really think about it that much. I would say it's more like just preference. And if you've ever worked in an ITX case, it can be a nightmare. Like basically the smaller they get, which is what you want for ITX, right? And the harder they are to work with, where there's like, you know, little tolerances here and there, and you have to get very specific parts, and they all cost more. Really cool, really fun. But for someone who tinkers with their machine way too often, personally, I felt like mATX is kind of like the sweet spot for me. And that's why, like, the case I'm building in today is mATX, but it is a little bit smaller, but it still allows an ATX power supply. So I'd say in terms of cooling, yeah, there's generally better cooling in mATX. You know, it just depends. And yeah, in general, an mATX machine will be quieter than an ITX because the fans, you know what I mean? But I don't know. I think the cooling is not really as important as you're thinking. In my opinion, it's like people don't go mATX over ITX because of cooling. They go because of vibe. Like, they like ITX, and that's okay. Like, that's cool. I'd say just go with what you prefer. But for me, ITX has always been a hassle. I like doing it for videos and stuff and for friends, but for like actual day-to-day use, I'm not a fan because I'm lazy and I don't want the hassle. But they are cool. It's still fun to see how much computer you can fit into a small enough space. That's very cool. You know what's funny? I asked I was messing around ChatGPT yesterday, and I was like, hey, give me some ideas for viral computer videos. And a lot of them were horrible. But it said one of them was building a computer inside an old graphics card. and I'm like, that's so funny to think about. I'm sure it's been done. But it's like, yeah, use like a Raspberry Pi and use the shell of a broken graphics card and build a computer into it. And I'm like, that's pretty interesting. It wouldn't be a real computer. You'd have to use like a single board computer, but it already has fan mounts. So like it'd be pretty interesting to have like an emulation box be in a graphics card shell. You know what I mean? I thought that would be pretty funny. He goes, sorry, Dylan. It's not really a burn. Yeah, I didn't feel like a burn. I mean, a group of guys that are here for a PC building stream to act like they don't frequent that site is cap. Essentially, yeah. That's not an actual burn. It just ran. Oh, I ran the converter on a website. Never had to calculate it myself. Gotcha. I was super into small form factor systems for a while till it always turned into a situation of needing to use another PCIe slot. So mATX is the sweet spot. And that's a very good point, Evotech. The thing I'm using today, the motherboard specifically, the second slot will be used, and that was a huge considering factor for it. That board specifically is like one of few that there's something special about it that I'll go into that it's like it had to be this motherboard. It had to. It was either that or spend like $200 more on the motherboard. So like that was gonna be it. A confession? mATX tends to have the best for most things to use. It is rare to use everything for ATX, while ITX would be tougher to upgrade. Yeah, I'm true. That's what I'm saying. Like you people who go ITX, they love it, and they're okay with that. And like it's a vibe. It's a vibe computer. You're vibing. Yeah, Raspberry. Yeah, Raspberry Pi. Or I wonder if you could gut out a mini PC, like an x86 mini PC, and put it into there. I think you can make it work. Some of those graphics cards are huge. Yeah, I think Luke hit the nail on the head. It seems people dabble in ITX, and the next evolution is default to mATX due to reasons discussed. That was my personal revelation. If you go back to the earliest videos on this channel, my main PC at the time, I did convert to an ITX machine because I thought it was fun. And then I slowly realized, I'm like, there's so many limitations for this, and it was a pain in the butt to build and having to do everything. If I ever want to like get in here and just do something, I'm like, man, this is kind of a pain in the butt. Whereas on a normal PC, even mATX, which is smaller, you can just open up the case and just do it. Like, it's not a big deal. And so for me, that's what I like. But a lot of people love ITX. I know Casey Walls in the chat is a huge fan of smaller form factor computers in all shapes and sizes. So I get it. I think it's fun. But for my personal PC, I don't think I would ever do it again as like a main rig. If I was ever in a position where I needed two computers, I could see myself doing that, and like maybe the second one would be ITX. But for now, that's not happening. Robert Fixit, what's up, man? He said Jeff the Landshark has entered chat. What's up, Robert? How are you, man? Okay, so we need to start the build because I am worried that this build is going to take a while because I am not familiar with this case, and it has some limitations in terms of fans. I think that's going to take a while. So let me clear off some of my desk, and I think we can get started. I'm going to unplug my keyboard because I don't have space for it. And this is not going to work, I guarantee it. Watch this. Boom. Yep. It keeps freezing. But why? Hey, look at that. I hope I don't have to constantly do that because that keeps happening. It's very, very frustrating. Let me make sure the chat is okay there. That looks okay there. Y'all are seeing my desk. How does it look? Is it exciting? Look how much space we have for activities. Look, it froze again. Anytime I touch it, And then I have to deactivate it, activate it, boom, and it's back. See that? I'm hoping that doesn't keep happening, because if it, oh my god, it just happened again. Is it overheating? I need to look into this. So the problem, it's doing that because my main, this is a secondary rig that doesn't have as many USB slots. And so I'm having to configure things to plug in multiple cameras and all my peripherals into it, because my main rig is being built, right? So like that's the problem. And so I'm trying to use my real camera, which is above me, and I had to use an old capture card because there's no native USB slots on this computer. And so it just keeps freezing. And I wonder, let me see if I can fix this. Look at that, you can see my hands. Beautiful desk, how is it possible to keep it so clean? Oh, Daniel. It's not clean. That's see, that's the neat part. It's not clean. Okay, I'm gonna do default. And let me change, I wonder if it's freezing because of the frame rate. So let me change the frame rate on it, because I think up there is at 4K. And that might be making it freeze. Let's see. Oh, thank God y'all can't see the menu. HD 60. Okay, hopefully that works. Nope, already frozen. Dang it. We'll have to figure that out. Let me think. I can replace it with a crappy webcam, but that's not fun. I think I have an idea. Give me 1 second. Yeah, this keeps freezing, so that's not working. So instead of dwelling on it, I'm going to turn it off, get it out of here. See, I wanted the top-down camera to be really nice, but it's not on this computer. It's just not happening. Night, everyone. What's up? What's up, Sam? How is Brownie? Brownie is doing fantastic. He is becoming more and more like his old self. So thanks for asking. Yeah, his wound is healing up real good. His hair is starting to grow back over the wound. So he's doing good. This camera out. Now I need a webcam. Oh, I know what I can do. Here, we're just gonna take this one, guys. Why mess with success? Will it let me do this? Here we go. What's up? Come on. Oh, it's stuck. That's why. And it unplugged anyway. Give me a second, guys. Boop, 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 boop. Come on. Okay. this is working, guys. Just chilling like a villain. Dude, Nathan, you a villain, dude? Come on. It's plugged in. And see, now this is, it's gonna do this forever. So I'm gonna go here. That doesn't work. Hey, Jason, don't you already have a 5090 PC? Unfortunately not. I had to sell it to pay for my cat's surgery. Man, what a riveting stream. Get to look at a black screen. Hey, there we go. Okay. Get this board out of the way. Move this back. Wow, did that also freeze? Dude, this computer might be doomed, guys. It might not be the camera, it might be that port. Did that work? Yeah. We might have to do it like this, guys. He has a 6090. He knows a guy who knows a guy. Very true, Wagner. What's up, dude? How are you? So yeah, we might have to do it like this, guys. So no face cam, but y'all don't need to see that. You don't need to see that. We have all the room here. But if we're gonna do this, let me minimize this up here, and then this can go here. How is Brownie coming along? Brownie is doing great. Thanks for asking, man. Feet cam? We're not doing that. We're not doing that, bros. Also, Jason, did you hear the news today? The U.S. got a deal with China temporarily, and Oxford's looking better. Yeah. 20 to 30 on stud is still on stuff is still high, but better than above 150 plus. Yeah, I saw that. We were talking about it a little bit. Jeff Wayne, what's up, man? mATX is a great form factor. I agree, brother. Let me. Oh man, that's very high. Can we get this out of the way? Oh, there goes my light. Wow, look how much room we have for activities. Y'all see my bare spot? Can anyone guess why I have a bare spot? It's pretty self-explanatory, I feel like. Okay, we need to get building. I need to get this PC built. Let me grab this. Okay, so yes, people who are new to the stream, this is my personal build. Sorry, you can't see my face. I'm right here. Hey. But because we're building my PC is not the one over here. This is like a backup PC, and if you see there's a bunch of wires, the USB ports are all messing up because I've got way too much plugged into it. So I can only have one camera. Sorry, but here we are. But I do need to build mine. So Mark Stebbins says, if Jason builds it, we will come. That's fantastic. That's what I like to hear. So this is for my actual personal PC. Okay. And so I have some unique requirements for my PC. Because not only do I play games on it, I'm also a content creator. So we've got a lot of like unique things that might not be the cheapest thing we can find, or they might not be the most required, or price to performance. So just be aware of that. So first up, we have our motherboard. Will it focus? What is this? This is the ASROCK B650M Pro RS. So this is an mATX board running AM5. But one thing that you notice is that's a normal mATX board. It's got some pretty good I/O in the back. We've got USB-C, a bunch of USB 2. We have BIOS flashback, which I'm really into. Necessary. This does have a port for a Wi-Fi card and the place for the antennas to go here. I just chose not to install one because I don't really use it that often. So RGB makes it go faster. I wish, dude. Love me some ASROCK. Yeah, dude. I like ASROCK too. This is a very special board, and let me tell you why. This board has a 16X connector, obviously, for this is the GPU. And most mATX boards are going to have one more port down here. And while this is a 16X connector, that doesn't necessarily mean the PCIe lanes underneath are 16X. It's definitely not. So let me tell you why. Most of these mATX ones, they'll have 16X here, and then down here they will generally only have 1X or 4X. Generally, it's almost always 1X. This motherboard specifically, there's only a few mATX boards like this that aren't very expensive. This is a 16X with lanes, and this 16X is actually an 8X with lanes, right? It's very rare, I'm telling you. Very, very, very rare in mATX size. Now, why do I need that? It's because I'm going to put a graphics card here, and then I put a 10 gig NIC down here because I edit off of my server. So I need a 10 gig expansion card that goes right here. And this is enough room to give me a graphics card and enough room to put in my network interface card. So it's very important to me. And that's what I'm saying. Like, this is not the cheapest motherboard. I did get it used, which is cool. You can tell it already has some thermal paste in there. And I already installed some of this stuff just to save time for later. But that is like very, 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 very important. Very important to me. Like, that's, I cannot not have it. And it's either that or I go ATX. And I was trying to slim down a little bit. So the fact that this is able to use this, that's fantastic. Where is my NIC actually? Do I have it nearby? Yes. Do I? Things are all over, guys. Who moved my stuffs? Okay, I mean, y'all know what a NIC looks like. So basically, it's important because graphics card goes here, NIC goes here. That's important. 10 gig, jeez. So just so we're clear, I don't get 10 gig internet speeds. This is specifically to go from here to my server. And 10 gig NICs actually aren't that expensive if you buy them used. It's like 30 bucks, but it's important for my workflow, essentially, right? And so that's why this is very important. Let's get this armor off to get the SSD in. So again, I'm not going to be using the SSD I normally use because it's in the computer I'm using right now, right? Oops, come on. The one I actually use in my computer is a 2 terabyte Silicon Power US 7.5, I believe, which is a okay board. It's okay. Let me zoom in a little bit. It's a little bit too far. I'm sure y'all want to see a little bit closer. Don't crash. That app is crashing. I guess I'm not the highest end guy. I upgrade CPU every 3 years, but I upgrade GPU every launch. I got a lower end CPU, but a 5090, which may be a bit of bottleneck. Not sure if it causes it. Brother, you said you're not the highest end guy, but you have the highest end GPU by about $1,000+. Sorry to say, you are the highest end guy. Just so we're clear, you are. Let me zoom in a little bit. There we go. A little better, a little better. Yeah. Yeah, so for mine, I use a 2 terabyte one. It's in the machine I'm using right now, so I'm just going to throw in this Kingston NV2 just because I had it lying around. Once the stream's over, I'm going to take it out, but, you know, this is just for posterity's sake. I don't even think they sell this anymore. This is the NV2. I think they upgraded this to the NV3, and I don't know what the difference is, but you cannot buy an NV2 brand new anymore, I think. What's the best CPU out there? I have not checked in a bit. It's up for debate, but I'd argue, I think most people agree that the best one for gaming is the 9800 X3D, or I guess technically the 9950 X3D, which is very expensive. So yeah, it's up for debate. Some people like the Intel ones for high-end stuff. Come on. Get in there. It doesn't want to go in. Come on. Oh, I think I got to bring it down a little bit. Oopsie doopsie. Is that the hole? Am I missing something? Okay. Casey said he's going to rock his 3070 for as long as he can. That's the way to do it. That's the way. Ugh. Are all the parts new? No. Frankly, I think the only thing new here is the case. I think the only thing new is the case. A lot of this was taken from my old PC or stuff I had lying around for other projects or bought used. Yeah, this motherboard was bought used. And it's been sitting around for a little bit waiting for this project. But I think it's going to be perfect. My monitor goes up to 60 hertz and 1080p only, so I run all games at max settings. Okay, so just so we're clear, guys, Blocks of Roblox is lying. He's lying. He does not have a 5090. This is a young person. He's got Roblox in his name, and he's saying 5090 to try to impress y'all. So just so we're clear. So I'm going to stop bringing you up on screen. That is a good build for 1080p medium to ultra setting, depending on the game. If it's strictly for gaming, it's perfect. Nice, nice. Is there something in the socket? Not yet. I mean, yes, Jalen. There is a little bit of thermal paste right there, but no card yet. I think that's going to be okay, though. Need to hold this up. But let me grab my CPU. Take a screwdriver and put it into the CPU slot. It will boost performance. Trust me. That sounds like a good idea, Neolites. I mean, I can't say why it would anything bad. CPU. Can we get a focus? Probably not. But let's try it. Go closer. Come on. What if we get really close? Oh, kind of. The Ryzen 7 7700. So not the most expensive, but these can be found on AliExpress for, I think, like $180 before the tariffs, which is pretty good. $200 maybe after. If you use coupons. So it's pretty good considering it's a pretty high-end chip, but not super, super high. I think it's got PCIe 5, right? Pretty good. A lint in the socket. It's not lint, I promise. It's not lint. That is thermal paste, I promise. Tech Blacksmith, what's up, man? That's an AMD Ryzen thingamajig 4. That's right. What's late to stream making me do actual work today? Ew. What's up, Hayden? How are you, man? Good CPU for the jack, for sure. You got a 7700 for 150 on Alex. A really good deal. Really good deal. Let's get this bad boy in there. and I dropped it, and everything's broken. Okay, nice. Easy. RAM. I am not a RAM snob. I like anything. We've got Trident Z5 Neo RGB. I'm not really going to use the RGB on it, but these were on a big time sale on woot.com. So this is 32 gigs. They're clocked at 6,000 megatransfers with a cast latency of 36. So pretty good. And if I remember, so these are brand new. I will say that. These are also brand new. And I want to say these were like 80 bucks, maybe 75. These were pretty good. I think it's a good deal. That AM5, right? Why does the bracket say AM4? Great question, Dylan. These are from the mounting hardware, and I'm using the same bracket that I had from before AM5 was a thing. So this fits AM5. It's universal, right? Peter's got it. So it just says AM4 because AM5 didn't exist yet. It's just old, but still good to go. Why no Wi-Fi in the board? Because I didn't want any Wi-Fi, frankly. I don't use it, and I didn't want to run the antennas and stuff. So, you know, if I want it, it's there. But for now, it's fine. Let me get my RAM in. Yeah, 32 gigs is fine for me. 64 would be great for video editing, but it would be kind of overkill. Come on. Oh, I can hear my cats freaking out downstairs. They're very hungry. Okay. Yeah, so these have RGB on them, but frankly, I probably won't be using the RGB. But, you know, that's okay. They still look pretty good. I didn't know the bracket would work for AM5. Yep. They work just fine. I get the Wi-Fi for just the Bluetooth option then. It does not cost much of a difference now. For sure. I have no problem with it. And I even have some M2 Wi-Fi stuff that I might add in later. It's more of like a, hey, I need Bluetooth. Okay, let me install this now kind of thing. What's your build for? This is my build, man. So this build is for me. It's going to be primarily for video editing and playing games, streaming. So basically that's like what I do. It's mostly content creation and gaming, and I game in 1440p. Well, I game in 3440 by 1440p, so an ultra wide. So I need a little bit more. Thank you everyone for helping out Dizzy. And if you want to know what are the specs of the whole machine, but you don't have time to stick around, they're in the description. So if you want to look at the description, we will have the full specs down there. For the cooler, we don't need anything fancy, but I have been using this for quite some time, and I actually really like it. This is the Thermalright Peerless Assassin Black. I love this, man. I just love it. It's a 6 heat pipe cooler. We've got dual heat sinks here. Easy to mount. Really nice spread here. This thing has done me no wrong. It's easy to install. I like it a lot, and it was only like $32. And I think it's awesome. I will say, I do not use the generic Thermalright fans, even though I think they're pretty good. I do think they're pretty good. I personally am a big fan of Arctic fans, and these are the Arctic P12 Max. Is that what they're called? P12 Plus, P12 Max? I can't remember. These are fans, if you're familiar with them, these are basically, if you know Noctua fans, I think, what are they called? The NF12s, I think. They're like their go-to generic fan. These are basically like those. They are 95% of the way there, but at like 20% of the cost, which is crazy. So like these are not Noctua fans. Noctua fans are better. I don't think anyone's saying that they're not. But these are 95% of the way there. And these only cost me like $5. So I love these. They're super quiet. They are super good at cooling. I think they look pretty sleek. They don't have that ugly Noctua look. So I love Arctic P12 Maxes, frankly. It's crazy how good of a deal Thermalright is. I agree, dude. Even if I was using the Thermalright fans, this is just crazy what a good deal it is. This thing has been lasting for so long. There's no broken parts to it. You're not going to be worrying about like a pump breaking or water clogging or anything like that. Like this thing is just a tank. So it goes to every machine I use, it goes into it. Hold on, I gotta get my AC on. It's pretty hot. Are there any coolers that come with the fans included, meaning already assembled, not AO? There are actually, yeah. Yeah, Dizzy's got you. Should I build an mATX PC build on AM4? Sure, why not? If you want. It's not even a proper PC build if you don't build it in your bed. I don't know about that, dude. That's you style. All right. I got some GD900 thermal grease here. Best in the biz. Not really, just kidding. It's just cheap AliExpress stuff. I do a division symbol most of the time. I err on I prefer too much compared to not a little. Thermal paste is cheap. If I use too little, I'm going to have to wipe it off and redo it again. I don't mind using a little bit extra. I'm not using anything fancy. Some people get really mad. They're like, that's way too much. You have applied way too much. Relax. It's going to be okay, dude. It's going to be okay. That on? Jason, did you try the Dune Awakening for the beta over the weekend? I did not, because I'm not a big... I don't know anything about Dune, frankly. But I did try Arc Raiders last weekend, which was the new extraction shooter from Embark, who made the finals. And I like that a lot. So I did not try that. Does it have good graphics? I really don't know anything about it other than some people have mentioned it. Or is that the MMO? Made spread the love evenly on both sides. Couple turns here, couple turns there. Don't overthink it, guys. Bump, bump, bump. You played Dune Awakening all weekend. Wow. It was pretty great. I'll check it out then. I literally I've not heard anything about it. I don't really have friends who play that kind of stuff. Mr. C&D says Arc Raiders is good. I liked it a lot, actually. I was surprised how much I liked it, yeah. I'm not really a big... I'm not a big extraction shooter guy, but I liked it a lot. I saw a guy today who was drawing on a CPU thermal paste, and it looked thin to begin with. Is that setting up for issues? No, not necessarily. You can go thin. It's not the end of the world. Truly thin would be fine. But for me, I just don't... why waste the time and the effort to do such a thin layer when you are more likely to use too little compared to too much? You know what I mean? The only reason you would have too much is if it starts glooping all over. And you don't want that, obviously. But, I mean, clearly we didn't gloop. You know, I don't see any that spit out, so it's not the end of the world. It's not out till June 10th, but I think it'll be worth it. Interesting. My girlfriend is downloading Harry Potter to play on her own PC. Once she sees how badly it runs, I'm sure she'll buy my 2060 Super. Hayden, give her the 2060 Super. Don't sell it to her. Two hours to download that Harry Potter game and is somewhat 2 hours. Oh, man. Okay, use the money to buy better internet. I'll buy it from you for less than 150. Shill the screwdriver like Linus does? I don't have to shill the screwdriver. The screwdriver sells itself. I don't have to say anything about it. You know, they are just there. I obviously like the screwdriver. This is the one I originally bought with my own money. And then when I went to LTX, I got to custom make this one at their little thing. And I got to choose the colors. So they're pretty cool. I like them a lot. It's 150, and I'm gonna fit it for you and let you trade in your old CPU for a slightly better one, love. No, you're not running a shop. You're just gonna do it, and it's gonna be free. Done. The Xbox gamer goes with the 5700X instead, less TDP and pretty much same performance. Nice, yeah, totally agree. Dylan's been playing Claire Obscure Expedition 33. I think it's going to be game of the year. Someone I know was playing that recently, and they kind of said the same thing. They said it's one of the greatest games I've ever played. I was very surprised. So maybe so. Maybe there's something to that game. All right, let me get my Arctic fans on. I like to do one in the middle. Clip these bad boys on. And then I usually do one on the outside. The one downside to doing it this way is if you really like your RAM, it covers the RAM, the RGB of it. So that's can be annoying. If you want it to be, you know, loud and proud, this can go here. No problem. Not a big deal. It would be just fine. I just like this because I like having all of the air being sucked in here and then sucked in there and then pulled through. I like having a good head start for the air, and that's just me. But if I really had to, putting it back here would be a-okay too. Jacob Whittingberg. What's up, Jacob? What is up? Hello, Lumbien. Another awesome stream. Very cool. Hey, we were just talking about the Expedia 33 game. All right, let me get this plugged in. Very nice, very nice. Okay, pretty good. Look how fast you can build a computer, right? It's so simple. Jacob, you won't believe what he did at the start of the stream. The computer is doomed. That's true. I used thermal paste on it, and I took my screwdriver and I went, "Argh!" It's within 2% of a 2070 in most cases, so it's good enough for a budget PC. For sure. Talking about the 2060 Super, right? Yep. I mean, like, if we are being honest, for most games like CSGO, you would only need, like, a 1650. I mean, when you say most games like CSGO, what do you mean? There aren't many games like CSGO. It's pretty much just Valorant, League of Legends, and everything before, because they're very CPU heavy. So yes, technically you could get away with it if you really wanted to, but the problem is that most people who want to be competitive, they want more frames, and they want a lot of frames, like a crap ton of them. So they're willing to spend more money on it. But technically, you could get away with that. What specs is he going to run for this PC? You can look down in the video description for everything that's in the machine. This is going to be for video editing. It's going to be for content creation, for streaming, and running games on a 34 by 1440 monitor. So that's what's going on here. He is running the Intel Ryzen Series Z GTX 780 IT. I feel like I just had a stroke. I think he means esports titles. I understand, but when we say esports titles, esports doesn't mean like games that require that don't require a GPU anymore. Like there's pretty much only a couple of those. You know what I mean? And yeah, technically you can get away with that for those few games, but people want more frames for that if they want to be like really competitive, which I feel like most gamers do. You know what I mean? Great question, Robert. Do you use USB-C on your main rig? And if so, what do you use it for? I do. That's a fantastic question. And there's one reason what I use it for. It is for this. This is my AverMedia 2.1 capture box. And what's special about this is that this can record 4K 144 hertz, which I know if you look up capture cards on Amazon, they're all going to say they do. They don't. They're gonna do pass-through, but they're not going to do recording. And this one's great because it can record specifically 4K 144. And I like that. For a lot of the stuff I do, I need to record 4K. And this is one of the few things that, oh, I don't know if it can do 144, sorry. It can do 4K 60, I believe. And a lot of them can't. And so I can't remember exactly how much it records, but it records a lot. And this only takes a USB-C cable. And if you plug it in using anything else, it just doesn't work very well. So that is like the most important thing. Yeah, that's the only reason I use USB-C. Otherwise, I'd be totally fine. Let me take a drink. Another good question by Yasaki Kondo. Why not go for the RX 6900 XT? Because it costs more, frankly, and I got a good deal on the 6800 XT. And that guy is very power hungry, and you explained it. A 1000 watt PSU is also excessive for the current build. You're right. The 1000 watt PSU I'm using is from a previous build that was powering an RTX 5090. So it's leftover. Okay. So yeah. And a lot of things happen in this machine where I'm not rich enough to have a test bench. So this is my test bench. So there's many times where if I need to do a power or graphics card test, it goes in my machine and I test it from my own machine. And I want to have the power supply headroom for when that happens. So if you're going to see later, I even leave in the power cables that I'm not using because there's going to be times where I'm like unplugging and replugging stuff. You know what I mean? So it's a good observation, and that's the explanation because I know it seems all over the place. This is not like the best price to performance, the most powerful, the one that makes most sense. Most of these are used parts that kind of tailored fit for my own personal experience. Does that make sense? So it's like just all over the place pretty much. Jason, you better take advantage of AX V512 until CPUs don't have it anymore. Zen 5 is amazing for PS3 emulation. All right, I'll check it out then. What'd you pay for the 1600 XT? I picked up a 6750 XT for $225 a couple months ago used. It's going strong with HTPC. Nice, Daniel. That's a great pickup. For the 6800 XT, here, we can talk about it now. I got this guy for about $350, which isn't like the most amazing deal in the world, but you know, honestly, the 6800 XT is a great card, and I feel like for $350, you get a lot of performance. I think it trades blows with an RTX 3080, but it has more VRAM. I feel like it's pretty good. Like, you might lose ray tracing. I don't really use ray tracing. And for the price, I think that's a banger of a deal. And look, it's even got the sticker still on here. So I think this is a good deal. I'm probably going to make a video on this card alone. It's a big boy. It's going to fit barely in the case, so we're going to have to see. How are you dealing with static during the build? Oh, let me show you. I deal with static by sometimes I will like rub a bunch of sweaters and balloons and stuff, and I'll build up static electricity, and then I just grab everything and I let it all release into it. And I think if I give it more static energy, it's actually going to increase my FPS, and it's going to work so well. So my answer for that is I don't deal with static during the build. If at this point, frankly, it just doesn't matter. It's a very, very low chance that anything would happen. I'm even sitting next to an air conditioning that's full blasted, and that is prone to create a lot of static. But I'll be okay. Yeah. Jason, I'm curious to know how the 6800 XT plays games at 3440. Maybe make a video about it. There's a Sphere-like ultra-wide benchmarks game kind of interesting. Yeah. You know, you're right. I generally don't do any videos with ultra-wide resolutions because they're just not as common. But I'd be interested to show that. I'd be interested because you're right. There's not a lot of ultra-wide content out there. So people just have to take 1440p benchmarks and like up it a little, right? Like or they look at 4K and down it a little. So maybe we can do something in the middle. Why not just use carpets? Static problem solved. Exactly. Pet's cat during build. You know how many times that actually happens? It's incredibly common. Incredibly common. S tier GPU in your hands for price performance. I agree. I think it's a good deal. I think it's a good card. I have not tested it, but just looking at the benchmarks. Weren't you rocking a 2070 Super? Was it not enough for your use cases? So the card this is being streamed on is the 2070, not necessarily the 2070 Super. And it's okay. It was having no problem. But I needed a little bit more because of the resolution I run at. And I saw the good deal on this. You know, I thought, why not? I'll do a small little upgrade here. The 2070 was kind of like a... It was kind of like a hold me over until I figure something else out. And it's a great card for sure, but I just need a little bit more. PSU in case when? Let's do it now. Bye-bye. Okay, this is where things are going to get interesting. Let me zoom out and get this out of the way. Get out the way. So, here is the case we're working with. It looks very small, actually. I kind of like that. This is the Jonsbo D32 Pro, I think. It's pretty simple. So there's a glass case I don't have on right now. There's the power supply goes here. We've got some extra room for GPU. And I think this should fit, because if I do a test fit, it does slot in ever so gently. So ideally, this is going to be perfect. And but this poses a problem, because I'm also going to be using a NIC down here, and that means there's not going to be enough room for any fans at the bottom, I believe. That's an issue, because it means air is going to be an issue. I don't know how many fans I can fit in this. Ideally, I'd like more. The more, the better. But if I can't fit any down here, that's going to be worrisome. So I think we're going to put in everything first. The power supply, the motherboard and stuff, and then we're gonna figure out the fan situation. So if anyone's built in this and you have any idea of where I should put the fans, obviously we can have an exhaust here, and we're gonna have 2 at the top. But I don't want 3 exhausts. I want an intake somewhere. So if I can fit a single intake here, like below the GPU, that would work. There's also, this is room for 3 fans. So I think if I leave this area for the NIC, because the NIC's not very big, it's like about here. And then I can have a fan here and a fan here. So 2 intake, and then I could do 1, 2, or 3 exhaust. What do you think?
6800 XT is hot. ID suggest PTM 7950.
Is that the what is that? Is that the thermal pad thing? Thanks for the donation, Techie Tech. I appreciate it. What is PTM 7950? I don't have my keyboard plugged in, so I cannot Google it. What are you saying? People are yelling at me? What do you want? What is this? What's going on here? Oh, damn, you got this case from China. I got it from Amazon, but yeah, I think Jonsbo is a Taiwanese company. It's so small, I love it, though you could need to run it on negative airflow. No, since the space is very tight. Yes, possibly. That's what I'm worried about. Absolutely love that case. It's going to be pretty cool. That case is in my top 5 for mATX. Wow, you guys really like this case. That's awesome. That GPU in there looks so satisfying. It fits well. I don't know if I'd call it well, but it certainly fits. Well, it hopefully fits. I agree, Daniel. We need more small form factor cases that fit an mATX board, something like the A10 or this Jonsbo. That would be fantastic. Jason, you could fit a bottom with 15mm slim fans, even with your NIC card. I know. I just don't want to buy any fans, Casey. I don't want to buy any more fans, man. I have so many. So we'll see. If I have to, I will, but I'd prefer not to. Why not go for the Kendo eSport MK100? I like the small form factor. So ideally, this thing is going to be so small that if I want to go downstairs and work on my TV or play games on it, I could be able to pick up this whole thing, carry it down there, and not have a big deal. That's like in a perfect world, right? It's okay. The PTM is the phase changing thermal pad. That's what I thought. Gotcha. I'll look into it. Yeah. Yeah, if you can manage to put at least 2 fans underneath, you'd be all set. Because look, I have 6 of these P12 Maxes, okay? And these are not slim fans. So I'm thinking this goes here. And then another one goes here. That is fine because the NIC is very small. It's just going to take up a little bit of space right here. So these 2 fans go here. The GPU goes above it. Oh, there we go. Okay, look at that. So these fans are going to be perfect. NIC goes right here, these 2 fans. And then we can do fan here, and then either 3 fans up here. And I think that's going to work okay. Because the motherboard stops here. And there's like a little room for cable management in the back behind this tray, but not much. So I think we're going to do good. But I want to get everything in before I do any fans, so I know what I'm working with. So let's do that first. Except for the graphics card. Obviously, graphics card goes in dead last. But look, that's totally enough room. So that's why I wanted to get to this build quick, because I feel like it's going to take a while. Talk about the PTM. It helps a lot with hotspot temps, not so much normal GPU die temps. Gotcha. So you wanted me to put it on the GPU? I'll consider it. I'll look into it. I know the name of it, but I've actually never worked with it. I'm sure you can 3D print a handle for the case. That's exactly what I was thinking. I looked into it. I would have to design it because I couldn't find anything. And so what we have here is that there are these little fitments here. And I thought, like, man, this would be perfect to put a handle right here. Like, it can latch into these or even screw into them maybe. They're a little bit small. I don't think I could screw into them. But if I could latch into them somehow or use these, there are these 2 things that are holding this down. So, like, it screws into this back part here, and it goes all the way across. But then there's nothing to screw in on the front. So, or it could be a snap-on where it goes in this direction, and it just snaps on to both sides. But again, there's no space here for it to kind of latch onto. So it's kind of an issue. If anything, if y'all have any ideas later, I'd love to hear it for 3D printing some handles. But I'm not a designer. I don't know how to design stuff. Did you not consider the Z20? I did, Casey. It costs $30 more. And so the handle's not worth $30 to me. That's just how it is. And I thought about it. And I'm like, you know what? I don't need a handle that bad. If it came down to it, I don't need $30. I'd rather have the $30. But, you know, that's just me. Okay, let's get this build going. Okay, so this plugs into the power supply. Boop, boop, boop. With these Jonsbo case, a lot of people like to intake air from the rear and bottom. Oh, if they use an air cooler, they flip the orientation of the fans. Interesting. So you're saying do both of these intake and here, and then do exhaust up here. So even intake here, and then flip these fans around so that it intakes from here and it intakes from here and spits it out near the power supply and then goes up. So is that what you're trying to say? Interesting. I mean, I could flip those around. If that's what they do, I really don't work on these that much. So I guess it makes sense. What direction is the power supply going? Okay, let me talk about power supply. So, power supply, if you've seen some of my videos, you've seen me use this a few times. This is the 1000 watt Sama XP. This is a platinum rated power supply. It's fully modular. I've already got the cables plugged in. They're all black, tons of spots. And it has a native 12 volt high power 600 watt cable, you know, the ones that keep burning up on NVIDIA cards. So my GPU does not take this, but I have it plugged in because, like I said earlier, I swap cards out a lot for different videos, so I need those plugged in. I'm going to have 2 of the PCIe cables plugged in. So this is overkill for this build, but this was only $80 actually, so hopefully it doesn't burn my house down. Not SFX? No, that was the whole point why I got this case, because it takes an ATX power supply. I am a ME, Jason. The gauge of the perforated top panel has to be of sufficient gauge to sustain the weight of the rig. If you wanted to handle it respectfully, there are choices out there. Yeah, I agree. After looking at this, I thought like maybe not so much. But imagine I just left this side of the case off, this side off, and I run a belt through here, and I just grab it like this, and I walk it around like a lunch bag. Thoughts? But, you know, it's not the end of the world if it doesn't have a handle. Okay. What direction does the power supply go in? I'm going to do something you've never seen someone do on a stream. Oh my gosh, there's a lot of stuff going on here. Mother power supply install. It goes up in that corner. Got it. So I probably need to plug this in before it goes in. That makes sense. So let's get that guy in. And then what? Just slide this bad boy in? It came with some stuff. Hold on. This box came with some stuff. Where's the stuff? Oh, I see it. Let's see what we got in here. Here are our case screws. Wow, comes in a little box. That's pretty nice. We have this, which this is a graphics card support bracket. That's nice. So I guess it goes in and it can just hold it up from the other side. That's pretty nifty. I'll probably end up using that actually. What is this? This is the SFX PSU adapter bracket. Okay, so I'm not using this, but it's good to have it. How can this be an adapter bracket? It's just nothing. And then we have the motherboard cable management cover. Okay, that's nice. That I do know. And what are these things? Oh, this is for the support bracket to hold it and it doesn't like break. How much did I pay for the whole thing? It's hard to say because a lot of these parts are old. I gave $1,000 out there just as like a guess, right? It's not necessarily 1,000, but this case was $70 on Amazon, so that was okay. Might be okay with a belt. Reinforcing the top is a net positive for adding a handle. True. Downside is airflow at the top if you block it a bit. True. Jason, use the lunch bag idea you just said, but use the handles you 3D print and try to latch them inside the open case. That is also an option for sure, Sam. Very, very true. I see. You can add a backing plate under the top panel to analogize the equivalent to the backing plate for cantilevered CPU cooler. Yeah. I'll look into it. It's not that big a deal, but that could be pretty cool. I'm already judging the cable management. Dude, we haven't even done anything. Any tips for someone who's going to start PC flipping? Don't expect to make any money. Just do it for fun. Oh no, is this even gonna fit? How does this fit? I'm like squeezing these cables. Is it really supposed to go on the top? That doesn't make any sense. Hold on. Let me... Oh, does it want the cables to go over there? I think... Okay, so there's space inside. So once I get this in, it won't scrunch the cables as much. Oh my gosh. Rob asks, have I seen Thunderbolts? I have not, actually. I heard it's pretty good. I don't really watch movies that often. Oh man, this is scrunching hard. Oh my gosh. That is pushing. Look at that. The cables are just coming out. Is there no better way to do this? That is, I don't even have to tie it down. It's so tight. It is so in there. Oh, I think there's a bracket in there already. Hold on. There is like a bracket I think I was supposed to take out. No, don't push harder. Don't push harder. That's a bad idea. Yeah, there's already something up there. Why would that be there? That's very foolish. See, this is why you got to read the manual, guys. I totally skipped over this. Power supply installation. Go in from the top and unscrew that thing first. Y'all didn't tell me. What are y'all here for? You're supposed to do this. Like, y'all were supposed to tell me to unscrew that. Look, the top comes off. See, that's how you'll know. Don't ever push harder. There's always, if it feels wrong, it probably is wrong. Okay, let me push this out. You have to mount the bracket to the PSU and then it mounts back in. Yes, I believe so. I thought I could just shove it in there. That is not the case. Read the manual. I literally did. Y'all saw it. Okay, let me get this cable out of the way. So I gotta take off this bracket. How does this bracket come off? How does that come off? Do I have to flip it? Oh, it's over here. Okay, we got this. See, this is the downside of using these small ass cases, man. They are very annoying to use. Come on. When all else fails, we read the manual. Oh, I can't even get those out. Those are the wrong types of... Those aren't even screws. Those are like rivets. It said I was supposed to do it from the top. Get the Dremel. Mark, you're full of bad ideas today. Cut off the bracket. Y'all are like my bad thoughts. You have to mount the bracket to the PSU. How do I get the bracket off, though? They did not... Maybe there's like a little tool in here. Let's see, no. No tool. Those side screws, the ones I was at. Thanks. Buy a new case. Let's see. Reading again. It says from this. That doesn't even say. It just says pop it in. But it's, okay. Pop it in from the top. Yeah, from the top. Yeah. So there's actually, you don't take that mount off. Let's see. Because that's an SFX bracket. The way they show it on the, what's it called? in the manual, they show it's like, yeah, just slide it in and then screw it in. Okay, yeah. So this is it actually right here. This mount doesn't actually come off. It just you screw into the mount. Looking at the manual, but then you can plug this guy in. How the hell does this go in? But you do have to do this beforehand because it doesn't fit well. Yeah, that fits well. It's just pretty tight, but this is how to do it properly. And I just screw it into this bracket, and then it lifts it up a little bit. And there's all this room up here, and that is just for this cable to go into, which seems pretty silly. I think that's not necessary. Let's see. Okay, we got this. I just need to pull this out. Never built a PC, just learning? No problem. Me too. We're all learning. You're watching the frustrating parts of building in a case you've never built in before. And this is actually why I tell people not to build smaller form factor computers. Come on. What are the specs for this build? It's all in the video description. You can find out exactly what I'm using. Okay. So this needs to go into here. And then this needs to go in. Or I can just unplug it here. Then I can slide it back in. Then actually, right here is the secret sauce. There we go. Now we can do it. There we go. If you don't remove the bracket and install the PSU in the case later, you're going to deeply regret how much cable management it just take. But there's no bracket to remove, Casey. In the manual, it doesn't say to remove this bracket. It says to just screw it in directly. And these are actually like riveted ones, so like they don't want you to remove it. So I'm gonna give it a shot. Sleepy Mushroom, what's up, man? How are you? But this is looking good. Let's get the power supply screwed in. Let's see. A lot of weird shaped screws in this guy. Refund the case and get it. This is an mATX case, man. This is. That's the sad part. This is an mATX case. It's a nice case. It's just that I'm bad at working with this kind of stuff. Why did you choose a 6800 XT? Because it was a good deal, and it is good enough to play games at my resolution. And that's important to me. Refund the power supply. No. That cannot happen, guys. I've had it for months. Need to refund the power supply. That's not happening, guys. I kind of like the power supply, actually. It's just that the connectors are pretty thick. That's not mATX. That's a major piece of stress. I have Amazon on speed dial for you. You calling Amazon, bro? Are you calling Amazon? It's a website. You want to hear my Jamaican accent, guys? Sam and Sleepy Mushroom. Why not buy a used 3080 for 300 bucks? Because that's not how much they cost, bro. Used 3080s go for 400 bucks. Are you from Nerd on a Budget? Yeah. There we go. Looking good. All right. Hardest part done. Boom. Look at that. That's in. Cable is secured. Nice in there. It's out of the way. I can route it through here. We are in the clear, guys. Look at that. All right, power supply. In. Done. You was in my recommendations, recognize the name. Nice. Yeah. Do it, Jason. I really want to know how you would sound. I just do an impression of little Jacob from Grand Theft Auto 4. He constantly goes, "You're a real bad man. You're a real bad man. What's good, man?" I saw one for $300. It's shipped from China and it seems legit. Jawa also got an RTX 38 for $300 once, I think. So you're talking about once, right? You're talking about once, right? That's a one-time thing. You know what I mean? Like you're talking about, oh yeah, if you do this shady deal from China, or if you, one time I saw it. That's not the average cost. And as somebody who works with video editing, I prefer the extra VRAM. Am I going to use strimmer cables? No way, dude. Could you imagine? Let's get this motherboard in. Cables up. Oh, wait, no, please. I forgot. Gotta check the standoffs, guys. Never forget the standoffs. And look, see, I forgot one. Always check your standoffs, guys. Haha, that's not bad. I give you an 8 out of 10. Fun fact, our motto out of many one people. We have a lot of different ethnic groups and religions here. You would fit in great. Very cool. Yeah, I've never been to Jamaica, but I only have a good impression of it. Jason, don't forget the IO shield. Oh wait, he cheated and bought a motherboard with an integrated one. Very true. I eagerly await the day where IO shields are not a thing anymore. Oh god, could you imagine if I hit my drink? That would be a nightmare. Mike, this case, the computer I'm streaming on, does not have its glass on. It would literally spill into the, the machine. Do I go to Danny LAN parties? No. I don't live in his city. And I'm not a 20-year-old, like I'm not a 20-year lifelong friend of his. We are friends though, but I live in a different state. Nice. Look at that. Oh man, there's no room for cable management at the bottom. It's all gonna have to come from here. What a nightmare. Well, I approve. When you have some jerk chicken, you'll have it locked in perfectly, Jason. I will go to my nearest Jamaican restaurant. Say, give me the number 5, bad man. And if I'm not beaten up, I will be applauded. So we'll have to see. All right, right now I'm just getting my screws to screw in the motherboard. We're making good progress, guys. And it says I have an open frame case, so I don't need an IO shield. Cool, man. How's it going? Enjoying the stream? It's a good idea, Casey. That's a very good idea, especially in this tiny ass case. What Casey said is that before I do everything, plug in my 8-pin. That's because the 8-pin is in a very peculiar place, hard to reach to with normal sized hands. So it's just good practices to plug it in first while you still can. I think this rig is going to be really cool when it's done. Okay. Let's see, can I get this in? That's not that bad, actually. One side. Oh man, the one side was so easy. My humongous hands, they can't get in. Many people say they're like gorilla hands. They're the biggest they've ever seen. I went to a museum for monkeys and they said, my God, why aren't those hands in our exhibit? They're tremendous. Absolutely humongous hands. Is this upside down? Come on. There. Oh, not it. Nice, got it. Good suggestion, Casey. Alright. And since this is my actual build, I'm actually going to screw in all the screws. Are these not aligned right? It feels like they're not. Oh yeah, they are. It just feels like they're not going in very well. Like I'm not getting that tightening feel. Didn't I already do this one? Did it fall out? Oh, I think there's no... Oh, there is. Why didn't I do water cooling? Bruh, there's not a lot of room in here. Like Jay's 2 cents. Or use an AIO. Well, frankly, it's because I don't care. You can use an AIO, or you can do water cooling if you'd like. But frankly, I've been using this for years. It doesn't break. It can't break. It's just a hunk of metal. The fans can break, and they're easy to replace. On an AIO, if anything ever goes wrong, if there's a clog, if the pump breaks, if something happens to the radiator, you can't repair it. You just have to replace it. They don't perform any better than an air cooler. They are more maintenance. There are more issues. There's more point of ingress. They're more expensive. Like, frankly, it's just for me, it just doesn't make any sense. It's not something I'm interested in. But to each his own. I think technically this could fit an AIO if it was a small one. Oh, it's because I'm using the wrong screws. Doh. Oh man, this whole time I've been using the wrong screws. Dang it. Guys, it's hard to stream and do stuff. And it's like, come on. There we go. Carefree Lion 2, what's up, man? Air cooler is also easier to clean than AIO. Yeah, very true, very true. It's just easier all around. I would say the only reason you would go AIO or water cooling in general is because you like the looks of it, or you just like it. And that's okay. That's a totally valid thing. But for me, I just like ease of use. Can fit a 240. Okay, that's cool. Get these. Come on. I put the wrong screws in. JT Bivens, what's up, man? How are you? JT Bivens says, not air cooler. What do you say? Water cooling is overrated. I kind of agree. I think air cooling is, or not air cooling, water cooling is like, I don't know. It's cool. It looks really cool. I'll admit they look very, very cool, but I just personally don't like them. Let's see. I'm building my first PC tomorrow. Any tips? Congratulations. Tips, take it slow. Don't worry too much that you're going to break something, because you probably won't. And enjoy the process. Even the frustrating parts can be fun. So we've got this guy. That's not going anywhere. Speaking about air coolers, have you heard about the Master Cooler and their new air cooler with some revamped heat pipe design they did to evenly distribute heat? I did not. That sounds cool. I always love some innovation. Okay. So I'm going to get everything plugged in. Oh, man. Don't I need a fan controller? How many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 cool places to plug in fans. I think that should be okay for now. And if I need one more, we can do it. So let me plug in everything. Then I will put in the fans. And then we will do the GPU. I think that's like the best way to do this. Hey, said the one argument against your claim on AIOs versus air coolers in a less than 10 liter PC build, oftentimes the CPU cooler height is limited, and AIO can be much better than, say, a 67mm CPU cooler. For sure, I agree with that. So I suppose it's not only for looks; it can also be for size constraints. But then, aren't there like shorter CPU coolers? I know in those tower style cases, those tower style like ITX cases, they require an AIO most of the time. Is this backwards? I'm missing half of my... Wait, hold on. I feel like a piece of my... Hold on. Yeah, I was saying part of my motherboard wasn't there because it came apart. I'm like, why isn't this latching? But at the end of the day, whether you like air cooling, you like water, it doesn't really matter. That's why, like, if people... And that's one of the things, most of the stuff doesn't matter, right? They're like, oh, I prefer AMD, I prefer GPU. I don't really care, to be honest. There's so much bigger stuff going on, man. That's why you'll never see me make an hour-long video about how NVIDIA is greedy. There is so much more important stuff going on than the stupid manufacturer for the thing I use to play games. I try to bring positivity and fun and let other people complain. So, like what you like. All right. Power supply was kind of hard to get in, but there are, but in the small form factor realm, 38 to 75mm is about the height limit in that liter range, and even a 120mm will beat those out. Interesting. Would an AIO get the 5700G down to below 5 degrees Fahrenheit? I'm gonna need that in Celsius. Ant-Man, most cooler stuff is gonna be Celsius. But you have to remember, your cooler will never really get below idle temp. So if the room you're sitting in is 70 degrees Fahrenheit, it's very unlikely you're going to get far below that. You know what I mean? It's not going to be that much colder. It's not going to be freezing cold. Cable management looking less sus already. Yeah, I know. I'm new, but that comment felt pointed. No, I'm not pointed at all. People can like what they like. Oh man, I thought I could fit some cables underneath. You see that little blue guy? Not really. Maybe some of the other cables, but this one specifically won't fit. Let me get this in. Oh, there's one on the side. Heck yes, dude. Heck yes. Let's get it. Sorry guys, I know it's hard to see, but there's some stuff you just can't show on camera very well. I'm year one into PC gaming, still learning Celsius. I get it, dude. But yeah, they're like, when you're talking about temperatures of hardware, that's specifically, we do use Celsius. So whenever someone's like, yeah, 5 degrees Fahrenheit, I have no reference point for it. I have to do the conversion in my head, and I don't want to be a little off. You know what I mean? Look at this case. Look at the front. That looks so nice. This little orange. That looks so nice. It's so simple. I like this design. Okay, I'll never use the HD audio because I don't plug stuff into the front of my computer like that. But I'm gonna plug it in just to get it out of the way. Jason, it's a 3.5 SATA drive, but I just snagged an 8 terabyte drive for $60, and the drive has a manufacture date of 2024. Wow, really? Good deal, man. That's the size I use for my home server, so I can tell you $60 is very good, especially if it was made last year. That's fantastic. Good find. Could you build a PC in a PS5 case? That's an interesting question. I think you certainly could, especially if it was not the PS5 Slim. Like if you had the original PS5, I think so. I think you could find a way to do it. Do you think Intel should scrap CPUs since their next gen may be on the LGA 1851 platform? You think Intel should scrap all of their CPUs, the only thing making them money? I don't think so, no. I think unfortunately we're stuck with them for an eternity. Because people like to poo-poo on Intel, but frankly, Intel CPUs are what power most of the business world. It's just a fact. I do wish that they weren't scrapping the already brand new like LGA socket. Like, take note from AM5, dude. Let it go for a few years. Why do we have to do this? You know what I mean? Like, it's so frustrating. Get this guy in here. Sorry guys, this is the boring part. I just have to one by one plug in every cable. This USB? No, it's his front panel. Okay, I was like, what's going on? It's looking pretty good. It's looking a little better. Looking a little better. Okay. I think that's everything. I think I think we can do the fans now. I don't want to poo-poo on Intel, but let's be honest, the guys have over 10 motherboard types in AMD S2 at this point. What is even the point anymore? AMD has more than 2, but I know what you're saying. Yeah, it is frustrating because they will come up with every excuse under the sun to explain why they do what they do. You know what I mean? And we all kind of know it's bullcrap. So it is frustrating. Yeah, how do I get this guy off? There's some kind of metal shroud. Let's take it off. They've got some type of armor on this thing to cover up the ports. Why would you do this? What does a home server do? So a home server, it has a lot of use cases. A home server is going to be like a it is what you make of it. Oh wow, did these just come off all at once? You can have it running just a storage for you. It can run services for you, virtualization. Basically, it's another computer in your house that you use for services that generally you don't want to run on your main computer. So if you run on a Plex server, you can do that. If you want to run virtualization, you can do that. If you want to learn how to do different Linux ISOs without, directly forcing yourself into it on your main rig, you can also do that. Does this have to come off too? There's a lot of stuff screwed into this, man. Come on. We don't really need all this. Not counting COD, of course. Console emulation, my kids love it. It's always reassuring when I see young people, children mostly, and they're really digging old games. And they're not like put off by the graphics. You know what I mean? Because a lot of those games are fantastic. How does this come off, man? Why is there so much armor? Get off. I unscrewed it. Get off. Oh, there it goes. Jesus, man. My goodness. They force you to... Oh, dang. It took off the side of the wall. Look at this. They have destruction on. Took out that side. That's cool. That gives you more room to work with, but nothing to mount on now. So I suppose that's good. And look, this came off in one chunk. Isn't that weird? These are all screwed in together. I think I'm gonna have to remove all of these. I suppose one of them can stay. So I have a spare PC case and mobile and GPU. Just need the PS2 and CPU and fans. Can I make that a server and NAS? Yeah, absolutely, man. I would say you don't even need the graphics card, really. You can totally do it. So a home server doesn't necessarily have to adhere to any special specifications. It's more about like what is your use case for it, right? Okay, we got it down. It's down to 1. So now, this thing is such a pain in the butt. So what are we thinking? So Casey, you were saying I should flip these 2 fans, and I should put a reverse fan here. So it would be intake, intake, intake. Well, not intake, but like opposite direction. And then intake, intake, and then exhaust, exhaust. So this should, because there's no front intake, So you're saying we should flip these two, intake, intake, intake. Is that what we're saying? Because that would not be that difficult to do. And it would allow our RAM to fly free. Exhaust out the top, yes. Gotcha. So if I want to intake here, I am going to have to go on this side. But then these two fans are going to be right next to each other. But that's okay. It don't really matter. So right now I'm flipping the fans on my CPU cooler. Because Casey said this is the better way to do it. And Casey, if my computer overheats, I'm going to send you the bill. That. Dun, dun. Negative airflow. You can always clean in like 6 or 7 months later. I clean a lot. Okay, so they are flipped. So now I'm going to put an intake here. And they're even... Yeah, there is. What am I thinking? I'm like, is there even a spot to mount them? Of course there is. Screws and washers. Do these have special? Oh, I spilled all my screws. Whatever. What are these screws for? These like looks like the ones you put on hard drives. Would these work on fans? I'm confused. What's the point of these? I don't think so. How would that work? Yeah, how would that? How would that work? Screws and washers. What? Reluctant Hero says, yes, that's the way. Okay. Good to know. Is it possible to build an arcade system that lets you use controllers? Of course. Just put in a USB port. So is this for fans? Okay, I think they have these special screws that are like a screw and washer for fans, and that's what I'm confused on. If y'all are wondering, like, what am I babbling about? So let's try that, I suppose. So let's stick this through here. And then what? Just thread that on? No. How does this work? What's the point of this? Okay, I'm just gonna use normal fan screws. I want this stream not to go to 11. I want to finish this computer. So I'm reaching into my bag of goodies, pulling out a bunch of fan screws. Folks also like this rear intake method for the Deep Cool CH160. That makes sense. And I think I remember that from when I made a video on it. I just didn't do it because it didn't look good on camera. I can't remember. Line this up. So easy. Actually, I'm gonna make it a little higher. No, I want it lower so I can get the intake on top, or the exhaust on top. I mean. We're making progress, boys. This is working, okay? This is a collaborative effort. Can 30 plus people build a computer together? Sucks that I only had one camera, but that's... Gotta do what you gotta do. Can y'all hear the music? I just turned it up a little bit. I can hear it very loudly. Okay, so this fan can get plugged in right here. And I don't have to worry about it. My flashlight. I'm literally trying to plug in something into a very dark crevice. There we go. My God. My eyesight is horrible. Also, in the future, you can fit a bunch of tiny 40mm Noctua fans in the front? No way, dude. That'd be pretty funny, though. Let's see what y'all talking about. Sounds like we are in a Pokemon Center. Yeah. This is very waiting room Pokemon style. All right, so we got the back fan on. Now, I want to do 2 bottom fans. So we're going to take off this bottom... Look how easy that is. Look, it even has holes. I technically don't have to take it off if I don't want to. That's fun. But I will just for posterity. And these are also going to be intake. And I think I'm... Because if that's intake too. I'm going to do just 1 for now. And then I'm going to do 2 at the top. Because I don't have a splitter. Or do I want 2 intake? What are we thinking? 2 intake or 2 exhaust? Let me know what y'all think. Fit. Oh, I think this is where I'm supposed to use those stupid things it wanted me to use. What was this? This stuff? This is going to be your main PC rig. Also, is it necessary to have 2 PCs for the average user for a backup or a console? No. The average user has 1 computer. Don't let people online trick you otherwise. The average user only has 1 computer. This is my main PC rig. But I am a content creator, so I have a couple of rigs laying around that I use for different stuff, so that's what I'm streaming on. But this is, in reality, my actual rig. Oh, I see. So I push this in here, right? Okay, I don't like this. Oh, you all have different ideas of what what we should do for the intake and the exhaust. Someone said positive pressure, 3 intake and 2 exhaust. I mostly do more intakes. I would go 1 intake and 2 exhaust. I wish I were on a poll. I have 2 PCs, so I get bot lobbies on COD. What does that mean? I have 2 PCs, so I get bot lobbies on COD. Does that mean you have 2 PCs, so you're a noob, and they put you in lobbies with bots? Sorry, I'm a little lost. Isn't that a thing, though? Where they, if you're, like, really bad at a game, they, like, force you to play with bots? I think that's a thing in some games. Install all the fans, order a splitter, and be done with it. Yeah, that is true. I should just install them no matter what. And then if I don't plug them in, I don't plug them in. It's not like it's not like I'm like gonna resell them or anything. Like they're just gonna sit. So I'm just gonna go for it. Let's go to the bottom. There is not room for another fan down here. Oh, well, there is, but not as low as I made that first one. I guess I shouldn't have made it so low. Never mind. That's okay. I'll just go a little higher. Ah. Foolish Jason. That's on me. Haha, no, Jason, don't do them like that. No, I don't know. Isn't that what bot lobbies mean? That wasn't a dig at Casey. I didn't understand what he meant. That's not like an insult, guys. What does bot lobbies mean? COD has skill-based matchmaking and engagement optimization matchmaking, which I hate, so that's why I don't like COD anymore. Interesting. I've not played Call of Duty in a long time. The bot lobby PC has auto hotkey that runs in the background and allows me to not get kicked. In result, my kill death ratio is crappy on that PC, so I get easy lobbies. I see. Why are you getting kicked from lobbies? Because you're going AFK. Okay, I'm gonna move this fan up. That was my mistake. Luckily, that's like a 1 minute fix. 1 minute fix here. Speed run. I played a lot of Call of Duty 4. Well, no, a little bit of Call of Duty 4, a little bit of Call of Duty 2, and then I played probably the most of Modern Warfare 2. I played a lot of Modern Warfare 2, like an insane amount. How a lot of YouTube streamers get crazy content. Well, they just play against noobs? That does make sense. That does make sense, I suppose. But that's not fun. If you're like a really pro, like a pro at a game, you don't want to play against a bunch of noobs. All right, those two fans are in. You can swap this guy around. Those are intaking. Now we're gonna do 2 exhaust. I'm surprised how much can fit in this, to be honest. I'm pleasantly surprised. Considering it's a very tight kind of fit. It's gonna be a nightmare to fix later. Here we go. Dude, I get into lobbies where people don't even shoot back at me. I think you're playing other bots, Casey. or children, or like people who it's like their first time using a computer. Do you like that? Like, is that what you're after? Wow, this can fit 14 or 140 millimeter fans. That's pretty crazy. Go right in the middle. Get some. That's the point. Okay. But that's not fun. To me, it's a hard challenge. I want to play people who are my same skill level so that I feel good about doing well. But I know that's really hard for games to do. It's hard for them to like put you, because your skill level is not such a thing that's so easy to find people perfectly. It's such a rare thing that anytime I get into a game where I'm like, it truly is like a back and forth, I'm like, this feels good, man. This is so rare. I'm having a great time, because that doesn't happen very often. So many fans. Oh, I almost put this one in backwards. Oopsie doopsie. It's not fun, but now that I'm going to start streaming and creating videos, it will make me money. I see. Okay. Gotcha. Okay, I'm on board now, Casey. I get it. That's why I'll never understand people who cheat at games and they are like not streaming or recording or anything. Like they just cheat. And I'm like, what joy does that bring you? Aren't games fun because there are rules? Aren't games fun because it's a challenge? Why would you cheat? What's the point? I love playing against players that are better than me. I feel like shit getting clapped, but I learn and watch to see how I can get better and how to improve myself to be competitive and have better game IQ. Yeah, sometimes I feel that way, and then sometimes I'm like, man, I just got stomped. Like that. Not only was it not fun for me, it probably wasn't fun for them. Do I know Buddy Love? I have no idea. No, I like to mod and cheat. That's why I switched to PC. All right, well, we found our cheater. The Strike Pack was the #1 sold device during Black Ops 4. It was undetected and gave you perfect aim, no recoil, and super movement. Okay, so everyone's cheating? Interesting. That's not fun. Sue's building a PC. 7600X, a 7800 XT, 64 gigs of RAM, 2 terabyte, gold rated PSU, and the Corsair frame 4000 RGB. Cool, man. Sounds like a good PC. All right, we got all our fans in. Now that that's done, we can plug in our GPU. Hopefully it fits. This is a mess of cables. My goodness. Okay, I'm gonna try to organize this because my #1 fear is that one of these cables will go into a fan, and I hate that sound. So I'm gonna try to pull all this back, and I'm gonna plug in a few of the fans. All right, so you bottom guys. Where's this guy? Then one of these exhausts can go here. Okay, this is together. We're almost done. I know it looks like we're not done, but we are almost done. Most of computer building is just plugging in the fans. That's what it feels like. All right, let me flatten these. This guy's not going to get plugged in today, but it will in the future, so I'm going to hide that. Yes, always test bench before installing into case. Here's the thing, Casey. I did do that. I just didn't tell y'all. I know for a fact all these components work. I got banned in GTA Online for money glitching over 200 million. Great. We found our cheater, guys. Is this the last part? Kind of. I just need to install the graphics card, close it up, and do a little testy test. So let me feed these PSU cables first. So I just need 2 of these. And what's the best way to feed this? There's a little room right here. Well, for beginners, it's still a good recommend. I didn't think you'd make that mistake. Yeah, I agree. Everyone should certainly do it. Don't just go straight into a case. That is a recipe for disaster. Let's see. There you go. Here's a change of music for you. So the only thing we have to do now is there's like this bracket here that I think can go back on now. And then once that is in, oh man, this is supposed to cover all this. Like this is supposed to cover all that. I'm not really worried about it. I don't care how this thing looks, to be honest. The computer, for sure. You plan doing a benchmark test on 960 once it comes out? Unfortunately not. I'm not a big enough of a creator to get seeded stuff like that, so I have to buy everything myself, and it can just get expensive. And the problem is that by the time I'm able to buy it, and by the time I'm able to get my hands on it, and by the time I'm able to test it, Linus Tech Tips has already done a video 3 weeks before then, and Gamers Nexus has already done 6 videos saying why the product is shit. So probably not, unfortunately, because then at that point no one cares. It is what it is. Let's go like this. Yes. The mounting point. Okay, I care a little bit. Look, I'm not as heartless to say I don't care at all. I do care a little bit. I mean, I bought the case, right? I just mean, like, the cables can be a little messy. It's okay. I'm not too worried about that. Now, where's my 10 gig NIC? Here's that 10 gig NIC I was talking about earlier. See? If I see a single cable, I'm deducting points. Dude, you're gonna see a lot of cables. Just to be honest with you, there's gonna be a lot of cables. Danny's a pretty big creator. Why don't he get free stuff from AMD, Intel, or Nvidia? He does sometimes. Yeah, sometimes he does. But then sometimes he doesn't. Danny got early access to the 4060, a couple of AMD cards. He went to an event to meet Jensen Huang at some point. So yeah, he's certainly gotten some good access. All right, moment of truth, guys. Do we think the GPU will fit? Here we go. I'm gonna plug in these first because I just don't trust myself. Yeah, Zotac had blower model 2080 Ti's for 150 yesterday. They saw that fast. I saw that and I was very sad I didn't get one. That would have been awesome. I was like, wow, what a deal, man. I don't care if they're blower. I would have taken one. I wonder how many they had. Oh, I had it on the wrong side. Oopsie doopsie. Here we go. Plug in that. Okay. Moment of truth. Ladies and gentlemen, mission accomplished. The GPU is in. We've done it. Beep, beep, computer assemble, click. Graphics card, graphics, click, insert. Cable, click. Beep, beep, click, insert. All right, I know I said I don't care what it looks like. That was kind of a lie. I do kind of care. I just meant I don't care too much. This looks pretty good. So, there is a thingy. Where is it? This is supposed to be a graphics card thing. So I think I'm supposed to put it over here and it holds the card up. So I might install that later. That's a nice little design. Look, it just screws in, it just holds it up. It's pretty simple. But look at that. That's in there, man. It's kind of wobbly because it's so big. And look, there's even space over here. You could fit another fan. Well, a 40 millimeter. That looks pretty good. Now, let me see. How do I hide these cables? I think I can just kind of stash these in here. Or underneath, there's a little space. I'm just gonna, an 80 or 92 millimeter would probably fit there. Yeah, but I don't care that much. Okay, this I need to keep out because I'm gonna, this I will probably need to bundle with like a cable tie, I think. And I can stash it here. And I think that would be a-okay because that is kind of, That's looking pretty minty. I'm gonna try to put on the back plate and see if that holds on tight. Because even without a zip tie, I think we're gonna be okay. Dude, nice! Look at that. Oh, what a fit. Let's get these back on. I know I'm committing a cardinal sin here, but I'm feeling pretty confident that this thing will boot. And I still have to replace. Look at that. Man, that's a tight mATX fit, man. Really, it's like a really perfect fit. Let's put a top back on. Look at this. Beautiful. What budget you spent on the parts? Brother, it's in the thumbnail. It's hard to explain because a lot of these are like used parts and, you know, different use cases. But this was about $1,000, I'd say, if I had to guess. Just like ballpark over time. But it's not like I spent $1,000 yesterday to build this PC. You know what I mean? But if you want to look at what everything is, it's all in the video description. So right now, this thing is so silly. My bad, forgot. You're good, dude. You are good. So this goes in here. Oh, which way does this go? That? What a strange design. What's the point of this? I just don't get it. What's the point of this? Okay, I guess it goes in. Look at that. Guys, oh, it's freaking heavy. Oh my god. Oh, look, you got the 10 gig NIC in there? Dude, that is looking pretty sleek, dude. It's honestly like it's all blacked out. That is pretty sleek, I gotta say. Like, that looks pretty good. I like the all black look. The only RGB we're gonna have is from the RAM, but I might even turn it off if I want it to be kind of quiet. Should we boot it? Is it boot time? Is it boot time? Boot time? Computer almost complete, happy, yay. The backside panel of my server barely hangs on, lol. It is bowed and the thumb screws are bent. So many cables, and it is a huge case. Fantech and Throw Pro 2. I think we've all been there, JT. I totally feel you on that. Should I buy used parts for everything but fan, SSD, and case? It's up to you. You can obviously save a lot of money buying used, but I'd say some stuff just isn't worth it. I would say if you have the money, buy a power supply that's brand new, buy RAM that's brand new, because it's like $5 less if you buy it used. Maybe buy storage that's brand new. Yeah, buy a case that's brand new. You don't want someone else's old case, but you could go all used and it'd be fine. Nah, you need to spray paint that NIC card. The red is throwing it off. It's so deep in there that you're only seeing it from here because I have it like this, but when you set it up straight, you don't see it at all. It's so unbelievably hidden by this giant GPU. You have to like really look deep in there. You're seeing it because I have light pointed at it, but yeah. All right, let's plug it in. Let's test it out. Let me get this back on. This was pretty cool. It's a nice little case. Once you get the hang of it. Bill looks amazing. Thank you, Nathan. Which GPU? Yeah, this is the 6800 XT. Dylan says, would you mind explaining one more time the thing that you already posted in the description to have explained live 3 times? Yeah, Dylan, it's because people come in late, so they don't see that, and you know, not that big a deal. Some people are only here for like 5 seconds, but yeah, every part is in the description if you want to check it out. The Dent Sony IMD GPU, or I guess you're trying to say AMD. Yeah. Good. Okay. Oh, we have light already. That is pretty good news. That GPU sag is killing my OCD. Look, eventually it'll be like here. Once I have that thing installed, it's gonna be pretty good. And I do want it installed because if I'm gonna be moving this PC around, I want everything to be like just right. All right, let's do this. 3, 2, 1. Uh-oh. No power. What did we miss? What could we have missed? I'm thinking we didn't plug in the front panel. No. Boo. I think the front panel, it didn't get plugged in. No. That stinks. You should 3D print Atlas to hold up the GPU. Why light? The light is coming from the back of my motherboard. And I guess there's a light back there that implies power. So it's getting power. That's why I think it's not turning on because of the front panel button. Unless that's not the power button. Let me try this again. Nope. I think our little front panel connector came loose. But that's okay. I'm gonna have to take it out anyway to install my SSD later, so it's not the end of the world. But still, looks pretty good. I'm into it. Switch, huh? But see, now this is the hard part about this. I can't reach the darn unplug the system. No, JT, I can't reach the latch now, so I have to and hope to God it doesn't break. There we go. Okay. What? Why is this not working? That's it. The app is backwards. Okay, this one might have been on me, guys. Okay, we're not gonna make the same mistake. Plug it in, test it with the GPU out, which you really shouldn't do, but okay, we have life. So turn it off. Yo, what's up, Line Tech? Unplug your stuff, bro. Dude, I live life on the edge, you guys. Okay. I think we should be good. Everything's so weird, man. I don't get it. What's the point of this? Okay. They should make a rainbow version of the RX and call it the Gadeon. Pretty sure they already make a bunch of rainbow stuff. You know, without the homophobia. Yeah, you should email them that, dude. Maybe they'll do it. Maybe for Pride Month. Okay. Let's try again. Round 2. Nice. We have liftoff. You can see the RGB is glowing now. That ugly red light from the motherboard that can be turned off in the BIOS. The fans are kicking in. They're turning down. All right, we're looking good. This fan's not spinning because it's not plugged in, obviously. But yes, we are balling. We've got our 10 gig NIC in there. We've got our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fans, plus the 2 on the CPU. Pretty nice looking build. Took a little bit longer than I thought. But I like it. I think it looks pretty good. Now benchmarking on Cookie Clicker. No way. Very loud. I think it's memory training, so I don't want to unplug it. But is that dirty? Yeah, looks pretty nice. Looks pretty like new mistake on power button. So here's the thing: if it was like the the normal ones, which is like 1 by 1, I would have no problem. It was like where they put it all together, and they just had a weird setup, and I like chose the wrong side. I don't even know what the left side's for. And I chose the left side instead of the right side. So it was like, it was off by 1 pin, but it allowed that to happen and it just didn't connect. So it happens. At least I knew what the problem was. A lot of people will spend hours trying to like troubleshoot that, and it's like just not gonna work. But look, this is great. We got both the fans in here. Just like I said, the NIC is sitting down there. Our giant ass GPU. Enough fans. Our huge cooler. Ugh, this thing's pretty heavy. I dare you to inhale and exhale. No. That's okay. Thanks, though. Here, I'm going to take the camera off and we can get a better view from a different angle. I'm going to light it up a little bit. Why is one fan not working? I did not plug in this fan because I don't have enough connectors on the motherboard, and so I have to get a splitter. Pretty good. That building looks clean though. Why RGB with a backplate that's not acrylic or tempered? I think it's just to create some light. Yeah, that RGB will probably get turned off. I just don't really need it, but I like the looks of this. This looks pretty good. Here, let me turn on the tempered glass. So it's going to be obviously dark. This still has the plastic on it, but one-handed. Pretty good. It's kind of dark to see, but that looks pretty good. I think for a smaller form factor build. Nice little design here. Cable management needs some work. Got our 10 gig NIC down there. Oh man, it looks so dusty in this light. Yeah, could use a little more work. A little cable management here and there. There's a little cover this guy that should go right there, and it's going to cover the majority of it once I do some spring cleaning. Computer complete, celebrate, happy. Man, buy an anti-GPU sag bracket. It comes with one. And this is not sagging as bad as y'all think it is. I know it looks bad on camera, but look, this is like, that's it. This is straight. I know it looks like it's sagging. It's not. It's in y'all's head. It's like a little bit. If I put this here, it would solve the sag issue. Tiny, like a tiny little thing. It's like nothing. So don't worry so much. So, by the way, loved your $400 PC video. I'm basing mine on that. Cool, man. Glad you liked it. Thanks for watching. The sag is not that bad. Stop the wiggle wiggle. Run a full performance and power test? No, I don't have time for that, sorry. And Casey has it just right. This isn't the end of the PC, it's just the beginning. You have to optimize custom the fan curves, BIOS settings, undervolting, and doing benchmark tests to check for stability. The build process is easy, yes. But all of that, I'm not doing on stream. But he's right. That went pretty good. Here. Hey guys, welcome back to my face. Okay. There we go. Look at that. There's the money shot. It's so heavy. Pretty cool. Nice build. Not as difficult as I thought, but not as easy as I thought either. We kind of had some hiccups along the way. I'm going to leave it on just in case it does memory training or stuff. So I'm just gonna leave it down here. I can finally plug my thing back in. Solid build. Yeah, that's my build, brother. It's gonna be sick. Oh, my nightlight turned on. It looks so ugly. I would at least like to see a CPU-Z stress test and a Unigine Heaven benchmark just to see how my fan device worked out. We can do that next week, Casey, for sure. I'm going to be streaming on that computer next week, so I think we might do some of that next week just to test out some of the stuff you're saying. Do people still use Heaven? But yeah, we can certainly do that. Did my keyboard get unplugged? Come on. Krusty, what's up, Krusty? How are you, man? Oh, here we go. I need to turn off this night light. It's driving me nuts. Oh, I can finally see. There we go. I use Heaven all the time, dude. Casey, you're old. I don't say. Heaven is definitely, I think it's the thing you can, like, if you know someone has been doing this for a long time. People like Jay's 2 cents love to use Heaven. There's nothing wrong with Heaven. It's just, it's one of those things that you can tell, like, they've been doing it for a long time. I just don't really use Heaven, but I see no, I have no qualms with it, really. Yeah. I just ran Heaven on my nephew's PC build for 48 hours to check for stability. Dang. That's like extra stable. I'm going the extra mile. I like that. But yeah, we can do that for sure. Next week, if y'all are here in stream, we'll run this one through some benchmarks. Yeah, that's a good idea. We do some benchmarks. We do a CPU-Z stress test, but it's going to be during the stream, so it's going to be while it's streaming. So I don't want to push it too hard because it might affect the stream. So I might do some of these beforehand, and I'll show you the results after. Does that make sense? We'll see. I'll see what I can do. Because right now, I don't have a way to plug it in. Like, I don't have a way to put it on screen on this computer, unfortunately. Hey, Krusty, your PC's finally built. Congrats, man. Not all the way through. Still waiting on a good GPU with a decent price, so I got a built PC that turns on but isn't displaying because no GPU. Very cool, man. That's awesome. Congrats. That's huge. Your CPU doesn't have integrated graphics at all? That's happening to the PC you're streaming on now, then? Hold on. That's happening to the PC you're streaming on now, then. No. Hold on. I'm trying to think of what you're trying to say. What did I say? That's happening to this PC you're streaming on now, then. The PC I'm streaming on now is an older PC, like a really old CPU. I'm not going to even say which one, that I put my 2070 into. So it's like not... Oh, what's happening to the PC you're streaming on now? Okay, got it. I was like, what are you talking about? This is like an office PC. Yeah, it's nothing. And I threw in my RTX 2070. It's not going well. That's why half of the USB ports aren't working, because there's not a lot of them, and they're all like 2.0. So the fact that I'm streaming this at all is amazing. Trust me, if you saw what I was working with. So no, that's not happening. To do a giveaway on the PC streaming on, you don't want this PC. I'm telling you, it's garbage. Like it's not even something I'd make a video on, is what I'm trying to say. It's like a quad core, I think like 4690 maybe. It's like, yeah, it's not great. But I was able to put the RTX 2070 in it, and I was able to stream. A lot of the ports weren't working. Things are, the whole stream was a mess, but hey, we were able to make it work. So I'm happy. Definitely not doing it a giveaway. It's the 7900 F. Don't know if it has. Okay, yeah, it doesn't. You are right, Krusty. I ran out of USB ports a while back. Even with a powered hub, I only have one free port on the front of my system. Damn, yeah, it's tough. I'm using a bunch of hubs as well, and even with that, some of them just weren't enough power. They weren't enough power to power like my external capture card or one of my webcams. Like, it just didn't work. I don't know what was going on. I don't know. So it is very frustrating. That's why I'm excited to go into that computer, because I'll have all my ports back and everything will be working, and that's going to be amazing. Jason, do you know emulation is super easy these days? Turn that thing into an emulation PC. Yeah, for sure. I've actually done a video kind of on emulation. It's been over a year now, I think. I kind of want to do a new one, actually. That would be kind of fun, yeah. Maybe I'll make a video on that. Jason, I think creating a video about why and how you downgraded your personal build to more modest specs would be awesome. Show the viewers how you don't need high-end, top-shelf hardware to enjoy a PC. I would love to do that, but the thing is, I did downgrade, but I feel like $1,000 computer is not modest. Looking at my demographics and seeing a lot of the comments, I have a lot of people who are young, who are disabled, who are from third world countries, who are, frankly, they're never going to have $1,000. You know what I mean? And so I love making videos like that about my own personal rig, but it never goes well because people don't want to see what my idea of modest is. You know what I mean? Like, yes, I downgraded because I kind of had to, and I'm gonna have a lot of fun on it for sure, and it's gonna work out great for me. But calling it like if I made the video like why I downgraded my computer, which is true because I did downgrade my computer for sure, a significant upgrade, but $1,000 for a computer is still like so unobtainable for like a lot of people, especially my viewers, that I don't think it would resonate with them. And that's kind of why I wanted to do it on stream. Yeah. So yeah, I know what you're saying and I appreciate it, and I agree with you. But just from like what I see from my demographics and from the comments, I'm not sure. Yeah, I'll think about it though. Is that $200 PC from your last video? I wish, Hayden. I wish it was. That one would be better, actually. You know why I didn't use that? Because it's currently being used for something else right now, but it's worse than that. Is the 7700 XT for 480 before tax a good price? You know, honestly, I would say normally no. That's like about what it costs. But right now you kind of pick and choose what you can get. So I would say keep holding out. If you can't, it's okay. It's an okay price. It's kind of what it's what it's worth. Like, I'm not saying it's overpriced. But in the market we're in, yeah, it might be all you can get. Yeah. I think your entire channel is about budget PCs and how you don't need a lot of money to enjoy a PC. I try to make it like that, but I wouldn't say my whole channel is about that. I want to do all kinds of computers for people at every kind of budget, but a lot of the fun stuff is kind of the budget stuff for sure. I'm 37 and on disability. My upgrades come from side gigs I get. Yeah, exactly. See what I mean? Like, and that's fun. And you're making it work, JT. Now I get you. At least if you don't reach Carter PC level of out of touch. I don't understand his content, dude. I watch it and I'm just like, who's watching this? Like, literally, like, there's just nothing there. I don't think he's funny. I don't think he knows a lot about what he's talking about. He kind of just talks in Gen Z vernacular, TikTok voice to the camera and points the camera at computers sometimes. And I'm just like, I don't like this. Maybe I guess I'm out of touch because I don't get it. But in his defense, I don't like vertical content really. I don't really like shorts. So, and he has an audience of millions, so he's doing something right for sure. I do make money flipping PCs, but I always have to target the $500, $700 audience, which is console prices, which results in, you know, Ryzen 5 3600s, 5700 XT, 1080 Ti, 6600 XT builds in the same case all the time. Yeah, for sure. Now I'm curious to know how your 5090 video went with your audience. You can go look at the numbers, Reluctant Hero, and I think you'll know. It did not go well. I literally had people commenting saying like, you're gonna lose viewers out of this. Ain't no way you keep your audience. I'm like, dude, we can talk about computers of every budget, man. Just because you can't afford something doesn't mean the next person can't. So what if someone only has a $200 computer? You're gonna get mad at the people who have 400, 500, 600, 700? Like, sometimes it's interesting to learn about all facets of gaming computers. And I can understand if you don't click on the video. I think that's fine. You know, if it doesn't interest you, it doesn't interest you. But then you see a lot of people who like, who legit like get angry. Like, how dare you show me things I can't afford? How dare you? You had me at P520. We still need to see your tech tips video. I think it will do well. That'd be fun. I'm from a third world country and used to game on a Dell laptop for the longest time. It used to overheat a lot to the point of turning off. It had no integrated graphics. We played Fire 14 with patch note of the latest patches to keep up with the current FIFA that was out. Oh, FIFA 14. With with patch notes of the latest patch to keep up with the current FIFA that was out and any updates it had. That's pretty cool. That's a nice little, yeah, I like that. That's cool. And it's a fun way to get around having to play on the newest stuff, because you know they're not going to make FIFA 2025 for an old computer. That's pretty cool, man. From third world country, I still watch even if I'll never afford it. Yeah, that's how I feel too. If I was, I can't say I would. I'm not from a third world country, so I can't really pretend to understand. But I just try to see from the perspective of that not everyone is from a first world country, and not everyone has money, and not everyone has the ability to make money. Like when I see, you have no idea how many comments. If I'll say like, hey, here's a $400 computer. The legit will have commenters, and some of them are from third world countries. Trust me, because I can tell. They'll say things like, just get a job, save up more money, and buy a better computer. This is e-waste. I'm like, dude, some people are disabled. Some people aren't old enough to work. Some people make pennies in their country. Like, what are you talking about? It's never that simple. And if it's that simple, everyone would have an amazing computer. You know what I mean? So why are you watching the content if you believe in that? Oh wow, under 2,000 views, harsh. I enjoyed that video. Thanks, man. I liked it too, actually. I thought the motherboard was fun. I think the case was fun. I think it was really interesting to play with that stuff. But yeah, I just didn't like it. It's okay. It's always going to be my point of view in life, price performance, is why I would have always went with a 7900 XTX versus a 4090. I wouldn't be able to justify it even if I had the money. That's fair. Totally fair, yeah. And it's kind of fun. It's fun to find the best price stuff, right? Gotta make do with what you got sometimes. It's as simple as that. Why you have a hat on? I could afford just about any PC configuration I want. However, I have a wife to answer to and kids that play travel ball, so I'm a budget baller, baby. Yeah, pretty much. Just because you have the means to buy something, like I'm sure Casey can buy a 5090. I'm sure a lot of people in this chat can buy 5090s, right? Just because you have the means to afford something doesn't necessarily mean you have to buy it, right? Just because you can afford a very expensive car, like, yeah, I can afford the $1,500 a month payments on a Maserati, that doesn't mean you should, right? Like, and so people have to draw the line where they draw the line, and I respect that and I understand it. And so I like to make content that is for everyone, and that literally means everyone. I don't mean normal people. I mean people who want 5090s and people who want 9070s, not 9070s, 970, a GTX 970. So, you know, to each his own, but I have to go through the comment section and see what people like, and I have to make videos about what people like, and it's this whole thing where I want to make X type video, but people really want this type of video, and would I have fun making it? Does it make sense? Is it something people want? So it's a little bit of all of those things. But if you look at my my most viewed videos of all time, there's like a staggering revelation in them. All of them have numbers equated to them. They have dollar amounts in the thumbnail or in the title, and all of them are below like $300. Like, that's the magic number. I've seen that if I make a video that has a $300 or less, sometimes 400, but 300 or less is the magic number, it will do well, because it is more accessible to more people, and more people like to watch stuff. The cheaper it gets, it's like, wow, I didn't even know that was possible. If it's $100 less, wow, I didn't even know that was possible. I got to see this, right? And so you can kind of see this correlation where it's just like, as it gets cheaper, the more people want to watch. But also, as it gets cheaper, the harder it is to make content, because you know, y'all know there's like a bare minimum for PCs and stuff, you know what I mean? So that alone tells you, like, what do people want to see? They don't want to see no-name, small-time YouTuber build a computer for himself that's like modest, right? They don't know who I am. Like, well, let's just be honest. Like, I'm a small-time YouTuber, so my audience knows who I am, but they don't care what PC I'm using for the most part. So you have to make content that is for everyone, literally, and your audience. So it's a bit confusing, and it's hard to figure out what to make sometimes. But you can just clearly see that if you put a number on it, it's like people will watch it way more. Most games that aren't anything tech-wise, I would live it through YouTuber walkthroughs. Yeah, I get that too, dude. The get a job is so funny to me because my mom's salary is like $450 to $500 per month. So building a $500 PC is already a hard to pick, and the PC flippers in my country make it way too expensive. Exactly. I don't know what country you're in, Vegito, but I saw somebody from Pakistan leaving my comment section recently saying you can get a pretty good computer for $350 in Pakistan, and it's like a GTX 970. I'm like, is that pretty good? And it's like Intel 10th gen or 9th gen or whatever. It's like a very basic PC. A PC you could build here for like $200 cost $350 in his country, and he was saying that's like a good computer. But you have to remember, $350 is more than the average monthly wage in Pakistan. So it's like, not only is that cheaper here, the money goes so much farther that is like most people will take 1 to 2 months of the entire salary to pay for that computer that he considered good, that is using 12-year-old software, or not software, hardware, sorry, 12-year-old hardware. And that's like the revelation that like it's just so different in every single market. It's hard to make content for everyone because it just shows you like, and that's why in the stream, if you notice, I always say if you're in the USA, if you're in the USA, because it just changes. You can't just throw out these blanket statements and act like it's universal, because every country is so different and every person's so different. People have different tolerances. Like some people don't mind playing on VGA cables. Some people are like, nope, I'm DisplayPort or nothing. Like, so it's just so hard. What headphones are those? These are the HyperX Alpha Clouds. I think 3 or X. And they are the bomb because they have a 300-hour battery life. Hey. Hey, buddy. We got a little buddy here today. Look, hey. Hey. I'm getting a credit card next year. I mean, that's cool, man, but don't spend it on... don't get a credit card to buy a PC. Just be careful, all right? Spend it wisely. Excuse me. Excuse me. Look, say hi. Okay, go. We had some 9070s in stock in the UK at MSRP last week for the first time in ages. That's awesome, man. Oops. If I made content, I'd probably need a beefier setup. Cat's gonna break something. Get out of here. But I just game, and with your budget build, I can play anything at 1080p high settings with respectable frame rates. Yeah. And if that's what you want, that's what you want. And that's awesome, right? Like, use your money for something else. Go enjoy dinner with your family. Jason, your most recent X99 build, I'd like to see you put in an E5 66V4 or E5 1680V4. I bet it will perform a lot better. You know, Casey, you're right. I went into that video thinking, what could we buy with buying the least amount of stuff? Like, I don't want people to put in more money than they need. Like, obviously, it would perform way better with those CPUs. Way better. Oh my god. Get quad channel, get that. And it's not that much more money. My cat's about to destroy my closet. It wouldn't be that much more money but it'd be like what, $15 or $20. But in my mind, I'm just like, this is supposed to be a $200 build. If someone can't afford the extra $15, I don't want to make it sound like this isn't good enough. So what I made it like that, just the way it is. But going forward, I do want to make a video saying I'm upgrading that computer. So that's why that computer actually isn't being used right now. I'm gonna make a video kind of as like a response to the comments of that video, because a lot of people are seemingly X99 experts. Did you know everyone on YouTube has 10 HP Z440s and they know everything about it from top to bottom, and they still watch beginner level videos on it? Truly, everyone knows everything about that computer and every little detail about it because they've watched 100 videos on it. I had never watched a single one because I don't like to go through and watch everyone else's videos on something. I want to come to my own conclusions. But then people are kind of just like repeating what they heard in other videos. Like one of the top comments is like, you're literally just replicating Linus's video. I'm like, I didn't even know Linus made a video on this, dude. I don't know. I know some people did because I've seen it. A lot of the comments have said, like in the past, saying a lot of people use this in their videos. So I was like aware that it was a thing, but I didn't know how much people knew about this thing because apparently it's incredibly popular. So then I'm gonna do a video that's kind of like a follow-up to it. That's basically like the $220 computer, kind of, and see, yeah, just kind of a follow-up. No, I don't blame you, but I'd like to see it with those CPUs and put your 6800 XT in it and see how bad it bottlenecks at 1440p or 4K. I've considered that too. I think that video, I'm going to get a good CPU and I'm going to try it with the original GPU we had in it just to see what's the difference. And then we're going to see how high can we go, right? And it's mostly going to be constrained by power supply issues because it only comes with 2 6-pins. And the 6800 XT needs 2 8-pins, and it wouldn't be giving it enough power. So we can do it, and it's not gonna like make a fire, but it's seriously gonna bottleneck it. So that could be fun. Yeah. As a 34-year-old, here is a tip: only use a credit card when you need to. I never owned a credit card. I use solely cash. I save up for everything. Yeah, man, only using cash at 34. That's tough. What country are you in? I think credit cards can be super helpful for a lot of people. But if you don't trust yourself, you shouldn't buy one, or you shouldn't get one for sure. Brownie has entered the chat. Welcome to the chat, Brownie. He's walking around. He's destroying my closet right now, I think. Everyone knows more than you do, bro. Keep up. It seems to be, dude. Everyone is seemingly an expert on that computer. You're in the USA and you've never used a credit card? Interesting. I mean, if it's working for you, that's great. How do you pay your bills? You pay in cash? You pay in cash your bills? I mean, I assume you have a debit card, right? Like you have a debit card, just not a credit card. That's fair. What are those purple lights in the background? They're just that, purple lights. I have some lights on for ambiance for the stream. It just makes it look nicer. I have these lights that I use for videos. And they do different colors. So they're just hanging out. I just have it on just to give the stream some depth. Makes it look like a little nicer because I missed the build. What GPU did you use on the mATX? It is a RX 6800 XT. Yeah. I'm still to build a Xeon system, but I've watched loads of build videos with them. You're not alone, Hayden. Seemingly everyone on YouTube has. How is the death of Windows 10 going to affect the ultra budget build videos? Yeah, it was originally going to be very tough. There was a time where you could not install Windows 11 on anything below TPM 2.0. That is now not the case. You can do it. It's just that Windows will say we don't officially support it. Whatever that means. Why not? Right? I don't know. So it's I don't see any reason why they wouldn't. They say it's because of security issues. So we don't really know. I think it's okay, but I think people don't. They're like they think they're gonna get hacked or something, and I don't know. It'd be easier to teach people how to install Windows 11 with a bypass than to have them learn how to use Linux. Is the truth of that. That is very true, actually. I'm 51. I have never had a credit card either. Mostly use cash or my standard debit card. Wow, Nathan, really? Interesting. I just learned to use it out of necessity since my PC wouldn't handle Windows 11. Yeah. I feel you on Linux. Tech Yes City is the GOAT on Xeon platforms. I don't like the digital age of digital currency. I like cash, no paper trail. I have a checking account that might auto pay my bills. That's a paper trail, brother. That is a paper trail. Your debit card. What are you hiding from? Is it all these hacks you're buying for Call of Duty? But I feel you. I can understand it. Uh, 6800 XT, 1080 high or entry 1440p? Certainly not 1080. I wouldn't even say entry. I'd say mid-range 1440. I'm using it on a 3440 by 1440p monitor. So yeah, mid-range. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like 1440p high FPS 4. It's pretty good. It's surprisingly very good for the price. 4K 60, maybe not on all AAA games, but it's going to be pretty good. And then FSR will get you the rest of the way there. I mean, it costs like $360, so it's not like a cheap card. Or I use prepaid gift cards to buy stuff online. That sounds so exhausting. I mean, digital payments have security issues as you're trusting billion-dollar company to not sell your data, which is totally safe, by the way. Yeah, I mean, I get where you're coming from as well, but you have to do that with every company you work with. Who you buy your house from, who you rent your apartment from, who you get your electricity from. There are many people that you're in the system who you don't trust with your data. You know, you've signed up for YouTube. You think YouTube's not selling your data? Like, you know what I mean? Every website you've ever signed up for, every you know, so that's not, I'd say that's not really a good excuse because we're past that. You know what I mean? If you are completely, you live in the woods and you only use cash, I would say yes, maybe that's like a good excuse. But I kind of feel like we're past that. But again, that's in America, so I'm not sure how it works in your part of Africa. But for here, it's like kind of hard too. I mean, every site you order vape stuff from now requires a copy of your license. Yeah, exactly. What's the hate on the 7600 XT? I don't think there's a lot of hate. I think it is priced a little bit above what people think it should. And I think people would rather use a last generation card like the 6700 XT to get more performance, more VRAM for less money. And it's not like it's like 10 years old. It's like a year old. It's a year older. So I think most people just are in that line. The 7600 XT is at this weird price point that just doesn't make sense for a lot of people because it's kind of like 1080 high, and at that people would rather just buy a used mid-range card. So it's like it's in a weird price space. The card itself is fine. It's just kind of lacking, I'd say. And it also competes with the B580, which blows out of the water price-wise, VRAM-wise. So it's just like, it makes the 7600 XT look kind of stupid. It's not a bad card, but it's just at that price, either get a B580 if you can, or buy a used the last gen card. there's nothing making the 7600 XT any better other than the slight power draw. It's like going to be a little bit lower power draw than the last gen card, because if you get a higher tier, obviously, but even then it's not really worth it for a lot of people. The 16 gig VRAM buffer on the 7600C is like the 3060 12 gig. It's too slow of a card to utilize it. Yeah, pretty much. You have a Google account and an internet and a bank account. You are not off the grid, Jason Bourne. I would agree with that, actually, Ant-Man. You have a bank account. That alone means you have a social security card. It means you have an ID. It means I have a Tor modem I use. It means nothing, dude. It means nothing. I'm sorry. If they want to find you, they'll find you. You don't live off the grid. You're literally connected to the grid to use this electricity that is tied to your bank account, that is tied to your name and your social security card and your ID. I understand what you're saying. You're not technically off the grid. You want to live as far away from data and from that kind of stuff that you want. I understand that, but you can't. You know what I mean? But I respect trying to get as close to that as you want. So I understand where you're coming from. We all toe that line. You know what I mean? I have an older lady that paid over $2,000 for a Linux laptop because it was sold to her as being hack-proof. Oh my god. She also carries a keychain that is supposed to protect her from the signals in the air. Okay, she's one of those people. Man, $2,000 for a Linux laptop. I mean, it's not hack-proof, but it certainly is harder. Like, not harder, sorry. I'd say you're less likely to get hacked on a Linux laptop. So it's not completely, it's mostly not giving them more data or limiting what they can get you. Yeah, for sure. That's what I'm saying. That's what I was trying to say. You're towing the line. You want to give as little as possible, right? Meaning, internet wise, data wise, It's just when we use the term off the grid, literally means like I'm not plugged into the grid, but you are, right? So we use that term kind of like loose and fast, but I understand what you're saying. We're talking about companies tracking you, not government. Unless you're an activist, your government doesn't care that much about your data. I don't think so. I think Ant-Man's trying to hide from the government. He said he only deals with cash. He doesn't want a paper trail. Who cares if a company knows your paper trail? They're not going to know your paper trail. You care that the government knows your paper trail. I think he wants to be as far away from the government as possible. You know what I mean? He uses Linux as a distro and not Windows. He has a USB key that blocks signals. We're dealing with a man who has a tinfoil hat. He has all these Call of Duty cheats on his computer that he's worried the government's going to come take him. Of course, you shouldn't try to be Snowden. Yeah, I think I can understand not. I think everyone draws the line on like how much data they want to give up and how kind of removed from everything they want to be. Where like the craziest part is that you're living in the mountains and you have no electricity and no connection to anything. And you ripped up your social security card and you've ripped up your ID and that is where I would say you're officially off the grid. Like that is what off the grid means, that where people don't know where you are, they don't know who you are. But using a special browser that wipes your internet, like Ant-Man's saying, that's cute. Like it's nice, but who are you hiding from, right? I think Ant-Man wants to hide from the government. It sounds like he wipes all data. Do you think companies are trying to read your data? No, you think the government's going to find your computer and read your data. That's what he's doing, right? Right, Ant-Man? Are you trying to hide from the government, right? Like, you think Blockbuster is going to come read that you went to youtube.com? You know, they don't care. I mean, they kind of do, but, you know, whatever. Jason Bourne entered the chat. Yeah, pretty much. Look up the HP Z4 G4. It's now a better pre-built to buy than the ThinkStation P520. Some of them you can come with a 9800X. Really interesting. Here, I'll write it down. That's interesting. Z4 G4. Is it expensive? I'll take a look. Thanks for the heads up. Okay, guys, I think we're going to call it in about 5 minutes because this stream is running much longer than I thought. I started at 7. It's like 3.5 hours. Sheesh. The computer is still running. It has not turned off, so that's a good sign. I have to install the GPU SAG bracket, which is not that big a deal. Put in my SSD. Get a fan hub, and I think I have one, so I can just use that one. I think I have one from Arctic, actually. What else? And I think I'm golden. I think that's all I need to do on it. And so I'm going to run those tests, Casey, CPU-Z. I'll run a Heaven one before we start stream, because if I run it during stream, the streaming of it all might affect it, because I'm going to be streaming from that computer. And then we can do some game benchmarks. That'll be fun. You can buy USB keys from the dark web that block signal. It acts as a signal jammer. Okay, dude. I own a pager, Dylan. Cell phones are trackers. Oh my god. Hold on. There's a tough desktop. Toasty Bros just did a video on that's built like a laptop and has laptop RAM, but with an actual 5080 GPU. Interesting. I'll check it out. You know what? I came to a revelation. I really enjoy Toasty Bros videos, not because they are like the pinnacle of content, but they put out consistent videos almost every day, and they are not drama baiting. They don't drama bait. They don't have a title that's like, this is the end of the world, with a GPU flying in the thumbnail every day. And it's just like drama baiting and complaining and just all of that. And it's like Toasty Bros just makes things they like. They enjoy it. Sometimes they don't like them. That's okay too. It's not drama baiting. Like, they have a positive influence on the community, and I like that a lot. So like, shout out to Toasty Bros, because I love that. I like that a lot, actually. $279 for the i7 9800X. It's pretty good. 16 gigs of RAM, 512 gig M2, 1000 watt PSU, and has 4 8-pin PCIe connect. Wow, 4 for only $280. That's a good deal. I'm gonna check that out. He sounds the weird guy who hangs about the frozen aisle at the supermarket talking to frozen chickens. Cell phones are tracking devices, not wrong. True. That you're too paranoid, you don't need to brag about the hardware you're using for privacy. You can't track me because my USB key hides my signal and data. And man, I will find you. I also believe the 9800X is still relevant today. I think for sure, man. Let me check. You're talking about the Intel, right? Like the Intel 9800X, which was a big, yeah. 4.5 turbo boost, 8 cores, 16 threads. Totally respectable, man. I'm gonna check that out. I think that could pump some stuff. That's a good price for an all-around computer. Put a 5090 in that bad boy. Not even Eric Snowden can reach me. We're all really proud of you, Ant-Man. Gotta love you and leave you all. Good night. Good night, Krusty. Shout out to you, brother Africa. Yo, can I do that too? Shout out to my African brothers. I would say, looking at my statistics, a significant amount of viewers to my channel are from Nigeria specifically, and then a couple scattered throughout the rest of Africa. Nigeria is like the biggest one, obviously, by population. So shout out to them. Yeah, shout out to African viewers. I'm pretty hungry, guys. What should I eat? This stream has 0 drop frames. I'm very impressed. I bet Ant-Man's right hand is a lot stronger than his left. Like, I'm not gonna say Vegito is African. I don't think he needs any help. All right, I've looked at statistics. I don't know what part of Africa Vegito's from, but he doesn't need any help. For a super tight budget, the HP Z440 is still really good though. Yeah, for sure. It's really cheap. They're trying to build budget PCs to reach more people with emails to give away their fortunes. That's good. That's pretty good. You just had a meat lover's pizza? Dude, okay, look, I'm gonna say something very controversial here. I think if you don't like pizza, you might be a psychopath. Like, I am of the agreement that all pizza is good pizza, and that if you don't like pizza, we're gonna forget if you're lactose intolerant, blah 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 blah. Okay, let's leave that. Let's pretend you can eat anything, and you don't like pizza, you're a psychopath. And I'm worried. Like, it's so good. It's so good. Like, how could someone not like pizza? It's like, that's like not liking chicken or like, do you know what I mean? Yeah, man, you are cracking me up, dude. He said, I had a rabbit for dinner. I hunted down her with a shot of whiskey. Where'd you buy the whiskey, Ant-Man? You went to the store. They have you on camera. You are on camera at your Dollar General where you bought that whiskey. And where you bought the sword where you stabbed the rabbit. How did you cook the rabbit? Over fire? Are you the girl with the bow and arrow from The Last of Us? Are you hunting it with a bow and arrow? That's sick. That's pretty badass, actually. I honestly think the guy with 12 LAN PCs would have benefited from the P520, Z440, 5820, Z4, G4, easiest, cheapest way for that. I agree. But for someone who, I don't know, like, I feel like if you're going to buy 12 of them, you don't want to build 12 office PCs. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It didn't seem right. It didn't sit right with me to suggest something like that. Office PCs to gaming PCs are kind of like, they're fun. but they're not really long term for a lot of people. But he could, if he was okay with that, could help a lot. Yeah, that was a good question from him. I never heard of that. Yeah, campfire. That's awesome. Bro is living the American dream. Oh, Renato's here. I'm sorry, mate. What's up, dude? You're good. How's it going, Renato? How are you, man? I had a Nigerian prince email me about a rich uncle from there, and all I had to do was give him my social security number and address. Any day now I'll be a millionaire. That's awesome, dude. Congratulations. That's sick. You don't look Nigerian to me. That's awesome. He distilled it. Have I seen the SSUPD X Huddle case? You know, honestly, that sounds familiar. Let's see. Oh, it's another one of these. Let me see. I'll pull it up. The X Huddle. So it's a two glass sides. Oh, this is the backwards one, huh? This is the backwards one. Y'all notice that? It's backwards. Pretty cool. I think I have seen it before. It's an interesting looking case. And it's great for people who want to put their computer on the left side of their monitor and still look at it. You know what I mean? Pretty cool. Pretty cool. It's expensive though, 140. But if you're buying this kind of computer, you got money. You got money. Yeah, it's a left-handed case. Yeah, it's this left-handed case. Very true. It looks cool, I'll admit. Like, I like it. It looks pretty good. Me and my wife were broke when we first started dating. We ate a $2.50 great value pizza every night for dinner. Nice, dude. Delicious. KJ, what's up, man? How'd you like the PC at the end? It looks pretty good. Here, I'll pull it up for you. Here's the build we did today if you missed it. The what's in the build is in the description. And it's in an mATX case, and it's damn heavy. It looks pretty cool. I still have some stuff I need to do on it. Put in a little sag bracket, install a new SSD, turn off the RAM, BIOS, benchmarking, optimizing, fan curves, etc. But pretty good. Look at the front. It looks pretty cool. I like the design. I just wish I had a handle. Very cool. Hold on. I can't be seen. I outer body travel anywhere through the astral realm? That's awesome. Damn, you're hiding from God too. That's crazy. That's awesome. That USB key must be hard. PC Rehab did a build with one, but 2 times the cost in Canada. Dang. That makes sense. Looks great, man, for sure. You went crazy on the PSU, though? It was left over from my previous build. It was only 80 bucks. It's not that bad, trust me. Jason, look how cheap you can get the meshless for now. That's from the same company, right? Yeah. I'm on their site. It looks very expensive. Do you want me to go to Amazon? $120? But it's just a black box. $120 for a black box, brother. It does have a riser. You can get good. Oh, 100 for that one. I mean, they're sold out at everything. 100 bucks. They have used cases. $72 is pretty good. Oh, you get to pick the riser. I see. Interesting. Side glass, full mesh. So a side glass is actually cheaper. No fans either. Yeah, that's okay though. I mean, I spent $70 on my case, so I think that's fair. People love this case, man. Just build your own at that point. Build your own case. You gonna bend the metal? Oh, they were only $50 yesterday? Wow. I think it's a good deal. For $50, yeah, I get it. I think that's worth it. Yeah, they're not even available on Amazon right now. Mushroom? Pretty cool. I got a Thermalright SFX PSU cheapish, like 70 quid. AliExpress has coil line. Dang. Is that SFX are so hard to find good power supplies, man. Sucks that it has coil line. Do you spend 70 quid on it? Or Hayden, how do you get your shirt so clean shirt? Tell that to your girlfriend. No fans either. Yeah. Why is your PC on the floor? Because I don't have a table next to me. It just is. I have a prototype PC case that hold on. I have a prototype PC case that has a cloak shield I bought from the dark web. What do you need a cloak case? Do you want Adams to not track your specs? It's pretty good. First of all, Vegito, you don't get it. Ant-Man can astral project. Can you do that? He's traveling through another dimensions. What are you doing? Maybe for you have a bazillion fans lying around, Jason. I actually donated a bunch of my fans recently because a lot of the time I build computers for videos that come with fans, and I have to put RGB fans in them to make them good for the thumbnail. But then I have extra fans lying around, and they're all non-RGB, and they're all just simple black ones. And I like to keep a few around, but I literally had like 25 fans just sitting around. I'm like, I will never use all of these. So I donated them to a local builder. Hopefully he can use it. Jason, your next build should be in the Mechanic Master C24. Let's take a look. It's more about price, dude. Like it's you are showing a lot of cases that are expensive. Look at this, dude. I can't. 140 for a tiny case. Like, there's less metal. Casey, there's less metal here. This doesn't look as good as mine. It's just small. The defining characteristic of this case is that it's small. Like, it's not that it's a bad case. I have no doubt that this is a nice case. I would never say it's bad, but $140. It's less metal, dude. It's less. All right, yellow one looks pretty cool. I love cases like this that look. This looks like it's from Mirror's Edge. Looks so sick. Bumblebee, yeah. The white one. It's got a Yeston card in that. Nice little color. Very small. It's tiny, man. I know. That's the defining characteristic, is that it's small. $120, even for the cheaper ones. That's crazy. Oh wow, the PSU thing goes right there, right through the middle of the case. Yeah, right. Look at that. It's just right there. Crazy. So what, that goes to the power supply back here, then it goes like to the left of or to the right of the cooler. It plugs right above the graphics card. So you plug in this and your power cable is literally an inch away from the graphics cards. Isn't there like interference if it's that close? Did that guy braid his 8-pin? He might have braided it. I think that's just the way it looks, but it does look like he braided it because he zip tied it so tightly. Pretty funny. I mean, it's a nice looking case, I'll admit. I like the handle. See, I wish I could just 3D print that handle and screw it into my computer. I know I can't do that, but that would be sick. I wish you could just do that. Is this a PC case for ants? The Mechanic Master C24 has a GameCube handle on it. Yeah. Jason got GTA 6 early. He's currently hiding from Rockstar. She went asleep, I think, lightweight. Oh yeah, it's pretty late there, huh? He keeps the PC on the floor because he has a special polymer he got from the dark web to keep the government from tracking him. You got any gaming laptop you recommend under $1,000? I am not the person to ask. Laptop specs and pricing changes so often, I cannot keep up with them. Yeah, I frankly, there's just so many and it changes so often. Like every 6 months, things become obsolete and it's like, I can't keep up. Yeah, I got nothing, sorry. Buy a MacBook Air. I have a box full of Gambius fans because I bought 5 of their cases, but I hate their fans. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, they just stack up. Only 1 hour left of my shift. Let's go 1-to-1 cam and keep this stream going, Jason. I'm about to log off. I'm already past what I said I would do. 3D print a handle for your case. I considered it, but there's nowhere to screw it in, and there's no structural rigidity to the top. So it wouldn't be as simple as just printing one and screwing it in, because then it's gonna pull, because the top of that case isn't designed to be held like that. So the metal is much thinner because it has a bunch of dots in it, you know what I mean? So it would require some sophisticated engineering to find a way. I did say I was gonna put a belt around it and carry around like a lunchbox, so I might, we'll see. Look for a sale. Game laptops go on sale all the time. Yeah, I would say. And you could honestly, if you go to like Hardware Swap, the what's it called? People sell laptops all the time there, and the value of a laptop plummets. So if you buy a laptop from 6 months ago, you can easily get like hundreds of dollars off. Like someone's like, I bought this 2 months ago and I never used it, and it'll sell at Best Buy for like $1,200 and he'll be selling it for like $800. So like that's like a great way to get a good price, because the value plummets on new laptops for some reason, specifically the gaming ones as well. Like it is just plummets. Now I meant get a case you can carry and build a smaller PC. Nah. Can you build your own laptop? Not really. It's not worth it. You can check out Framework, yeah. Framework, but yeah. Check out Framework. It's as close as you're gonna get. Just ask Elon Musk for a blueprint. It's so easy, dude. Yeah, just ask Elon Musk. Okay, guys, I'm gonna call it there. I'm very tired. Thank you to everyone who came. This was like a 4-hour stream, way too long. Thank you to everyone who watched the build. I know it was kind of jank today because I only had one camera and things were kind of messed up. So I appreciate everyone who stayed the whole time. Really appreciate you guys. Appreciate everyone. If you haven't seen my newest video, a video went live a few days ago about a $200 gaming PC. It is a okay video. I kind of like it. It's fun. You can go on there and complain about how I don't know about HP Z440s. If you want, we have a super secret Discord channel. I don't advertise it on the channel. It's only for people who watch the stream. So I will post it in the description if you'd like. You can feel free to go in there and you can show off what you got, or you can ask questions or talk to the bros in there. We've got a really nice tight-knit community in there. It's really fun. Build a PC you can holster on a belt you're wearing. I think like a Raspberry Pi would be the perfect one for that. But yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate it. Dylan, you're so right. I don't know Craft but X9. Thank you, Persona. Guys, have a great night. Thank you. See you next week. Same time, 7 p.m. CST. Bye.